And we're live. Hi, everyone. Welcome to tonight's episode of Andromeda Adventures. Great to see everyone here. No announcements that I can think of. And would just like to say thank you, everyone, for tuning in, checking us out. Remember to like and subscribe and check us out on YouTube for past episodes. I'm still working on getting a few of those episodes uploaded. Been having some trouble editing them. And you can check out our Patreon and get thanked at the end of the episode. I'd like to thank all of our current Patreons and our sponsor, Nick, our executive producer. And with that, I'm going to cue that intro. All right. Welcome back, everyone, to Neon Noir, your live stream coming at you with all of the great stories and great crews from throughout Night City's history. Now, we are still continuing our run with the Sexy Hexes. They've been going about their business. We've been hearing a lot about how they got started. Now, Bar, we haven't talked to you for a little bit. Can you catch us up on exactly what we went over last week? What was going on?
Yeah, sure. Well, first of all, there was some random downtime stuff. Hex and I went to visit Ume in the hospital. Hex brought her some flowers, some umes, which is appropriate, I suppose. I brought her an Elvis mixtape because why not? Um, After that, we went to visit Nova, and Reverend was already there and had discovered quite the infestation of bugs. I don't mean like cyber bugs, I mean just bugs. So he asked us to bring some stuff to help with that. We also did get her a kitten shaped backpack or teddy bear shaped backpack with a grenade motif to it. Reverend and I tried to clear out the bugs, but turns out, studio apartments in Night City don't always have ventilation, and spraying a bunch of potentially toxic chemicals into the air while people were still inside did cause Hex and Nova to hallucinate. So we had to leave, after which Hex and I went to contact Lore, who basically told us he would meet with one of the group or none. So I volunteered as tribute, went and had a bag on my head, but was brought to some sort of a safe house where I saw Cherry for the first time, the Cherry 5000, quote unquote. And it was pretty clear that she had had extensive modifications done to her. Lore detailed them, pretty horrific. Reverend corroborated this later, but I mean, I've never seen shit like that,
Dog shit takes
neural
place here
control
in Night City.
implants. Well, yeah, but that doesn't mean I like it or get used to it. I mean, this
Oh,
is
I don't
like
think anyone here ever gets used to it.
she's been like rebuilt from the ground up, except for her brain, some sort of a sick psycho fantasy by this guy Adrian King, who is apparently masking this crazy psycho fetishism behind his legit operation of behavioral modifications to control cyber psychos. And it later turned out, of course, that this was an actual person and a Borg body was built to emulate them, an anti-cyber activist. It just kept getting crazier. But I did get Lore to trust us, give us some evidence in exchange for ensuring that his girls, Cherry and Jackpot, were present when we took down King. Went back, contacted the crew. We all got together and evaluated some of the evidence that we were given. It was pretty bad. We made some plans to maybe try and lure King out, or at least talk to Bruce about it, and publicize it to the media. Hex contacted Bruce, who was pretty insistent she get to be the one to take down King. I'm not going to get between. I mean, lesson of Night City, right? Never get between three psycho people who want to take down somebody who's done them wrong. So, like, whichever one does it is fine by me personally, as long as he goes down. Um, and basically, after that, we had some time while Nova and Ume were healing. Hex did some work for Bruce. I had some clients, including this one wealthy woman walked in with a dress as sparkly as the Knights of Light City and, well, just as full of bullshit, basically. But Had some clients. Reverend was working. Also went to do some work on Sherry. Ume was resting. Nova was invited to take over Lore's shop, which don't tell anybody, but I did have a bet with Hex on whether or not the shop would still be standing when Lore got back to it, if he ever did. uh, anyway, though, before we could actually get going on with the Adrian King job, Bruce called, making it very clear to us, or to Hex, that we worked for her. A limo came to pick all of us up, and we found ourselves in a penthouse in a corporate tower with well, I didn't recognize any of them because apparently I deleted them from my mind palace, but everyone else recognized them as the kingpins of Night City. Rasputin, Madame Moogie, Ironclad, uh, Sophia something, and was it the Shark or the Shadow? I fucking don't know. And Bruce said we were a crew to figure something out. Don't really know what. They're not big on details. There was a maid beaten up, and that's pretty much where we left off.
All right. We're going to join in as you guys have stepped off of the AV and walked into the large living room off of the private balcony. And looking around, you see the very old Chinese lady, Madame Moogie, in her long, elegant dress, lots of bulky jewelry hanging off of her hair, done up in this very large bun, sipping on a drink. To the side, sort of pacing around the living room, you can see the muscular, huge, cybered out Ironclad. And Hex, since the last time you've seen Ironclad, he's gotten even more cyberware and looks even more dangerous.
Not surprising considering what we ran that job together doing.
Does Ironclad have a, because he's for the slaughterhouse, right? Does he have a
Yes,
cat?
and he very much has an
He
affinity
does-
No,
for all
we
things
asked that. We asked that
cyber.
last time. He does not have a cat,
He does not have a cat with him.
but the cat does have him clearly.
You guys can see Luther, the Shark Simmons, his dark, very dark black skin, two cyber arms, long back trench coat, very well dressed. Rasputin, his corpulent form and twisted, scarred face, short hair, is sitting there. You can see Sonia, the serpent. She's got dark skin. She's wearing loose, very fashionable dress and jacket over everything. She's got her hair pulled up in kind of an updo, as though sort of what you might see someone going to a movie premiere or the prom with. It's all wavy, very curly hair. Trying to think who else is there. Oh, Uteu is standing there, kind of sitting in one of the chairs, sipping on a drink, eyeing you guys up. Bruce is kind of taking the forefront, walking ahead of you guys, leading you into the place. As you look around, you can see it's a very, very opulent, wealthy house. There's multiple rooms. The living room is huge. It's got a window. There's stairs going up to another room up above, and the stairs kind of, they don't have a rail. They're just these floating planks kind of in the side of the wall. There's a huge bookshelf and holographic displays, little statues and works of art hanging on the wall. You can see coming from the upper floor, where the stairs are leading to, there's a whole bunch of water dripping off the floor and down over the stairs. And you can see a huge pool of water. There's blood splatters from where they beat the blonde, pale maid in her rather revealing sort of French maid outfit. And the whole place has this very intense air. As they're looking at you, Madame Moogie turns and, swirling her glass, eyes you guys up, kind of sizing you up a little bit. and says, in her thick Mandarin accent, "Look at what the cat dragged in. Bruce, darling, are these the best you could muster? I've seen more intimidating faces in my afternoon tea."
You don't watch the news enough then, lady.
It sounds like some pretty shitty ass tea to me.
And Bruce goes to chime in and both cutting her off, not giving her any regard whatsoever. Rasputin says, "Don't be too harsh, Moody. They've got that, what do you call it, raw, desperate, unrefined potential, I suppose.
Lean and hungry
But
look.
I know them a little bit. I mean, let's be honest. In this game, it's about finesse. And it's something I doubt they've acquired." Bruce kind of it looks. It's like, "Hey, that's my crew you're talking about. You're gonna treat them and me with some respect." Ironclad flexes his cyber muscles in a smirk. "Potential? With this bitch?" Pointing at Hex. "Please, they'll fold faster than my grandma at poker night. Bruce, you think you can step up into Victor's house with this lot? These are the big leagues. What the hell are you thinking?"
Is there like a table where there's drinks where Moogie got hers?
There's a little sidebar.
Yeah,
like wet bar.
Ume just walks over and pours herself a drink and then jumps onto the nicest looking sofa she can find with a really nice coffee table in front of it and put her feet up on the coffee table.
They all give you a look, and Bruce looks at you and gives a grin and kind of nods along.
I'm gonna look at Ume doing that and just pull out a cigarette and, "Do you mind if I smoke?" and light it immediately and just
Sort of in response to what they were saying, Sonia looks to Ironclad and says, "It's not all about muscle, Mike. Well, haven't you learned yet? I wonder, Bruce, what's your angle in all of this? You're not offering to help out of the kindness of your heart. Are you really playing chess here or just pretending to know the rules?" And Ateo says, "Yes. Is this not the crew that botched the king job?" And Bruce is like, "Hey, this crew here turned out to find plenty of evidence," and she tosses a chip on the table. "The king fucking lied to us, and you know no one lies to Bruce."
Sorry, why are we here?
They kind of all look at each other. Should we get to it? And Rasputin kind of looks to Bruce and says, "Interesting crew you've got here. I spent my morning negotiating with people who actually know what they're doing, but everyone starts somewhere, right?" As he looks to all of you. "Maybe you'll all surprise us. Or maybe we'll make you all disappear like so many before you."
You've got a job for us and it's risky and we die. It's kind of a moot point to say that. Either we succeed or we die on the job, right? So
Also, I do love the whole talking about something that none of us know what you're talking about to try and pull a power play. But if you want us to do a job, it would behoove you to actually detail it.
what he said.
Moogie kind of chimes in. "Anyways, they have a point. We should get to business. This little gathering has already cost me more time than it's worth. Bruce, I hope you're not planning on making all of this showboating and pretending and arguing a habit. Competence was always Victor's preference, and I do wonder if that's yours." And Rasputin says, Moogie, always so direct. Take it as a Bruce, and all of you, take all of this as a compliment. In Night City, even our insults are valuable, just like the territories we're about to redistribute.
Was his preference?
Bruce says, "Yeah. Look, you can all keep spitballing. and throwing out your accusations. But I'm telling you, this here crew is my crew. You're going to treat them with respect, and they're here to do a fucking job. You want to get to the bottom of what's going on? Then let us do our work. Or I can take them and walk away. Any of you, as she looks to each of you, got a problem with telling these fucking assholes to shove it if they don't want to cooperate?
Can I have another one of these drinks before we leave in that case?
I mean,
we
I've
have to
literally
leave. Oh,
been
all right.
implying
Then I have no
that.
problem with it at all.
But
I don't even know who these people are.
But before because I don't. But before I tell anyone to shove it, who are you people, by the way? But it does seem like Hex knows this city better. So do you think we should tell them to shove it, Hex, or go fuck themselves or fornicate themselves with an iron stick? There's a lot of
What are you even saying
insults we
fuck
could
you two
use.
about yet? Like, we don't even know what this job is.
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody's even told us what the fuck we're here for.
I'm guessing that Victor Kozlov is dead.
They all kind of look and give a nod. And Bruce says, "And that's about the stitch of it. We'd like you to take a look upstairs, see what you can find."
Up those stairs?
Mm-hmm.
Reverend
Well-
starts walking.
Hold on. Can you tell us anything more about this? Why is the maid beaten up?
And why do you need us to go
Ironclad
upstairs?
was like, "Because the maid always fucking knows something. I was going to get her to talk. Little bitch didn't spew anything."
Do you mind if I talk to her for 1 second before we go upstairs?
Help
He's very
yourselves as
persuasive.
They all just start talking business. Let's see if they can do anything. Like, they are not paying you guys any mind. They don't give a shit that you guys are here. They seem to be caught up in their own petty businesses, arguing over, like, who's still owes who what money and everything like that. And Bruce is
Hey,
like,
X, you want to go upstairs while Bard talks to the maid and get
I was actually going to
quick
take
look?
the maid upstairs with us because I don't know what we're going to see up there, right? So it might behoove us to have her there in case.
Also, is anybody even questioning why they need a couple of fucking stool pigeons to go upstairs and put their fingerprints all over everything?
I was just asking that question a second ago, but
Yeah, so
we moved on to the maid. So
don't touch anything like.
Yeah,
again,
what-
I'm trying to get the maid to safety, but also where I could ask her questions about the area, right? That's sort of the
Uteo
idea.
says, "We have considered that each of us are likely suspects in this endeavor. And all of
so
us
that's
are
why
pointing
y'all are really
fingers at each
here.
other. We,
Oh.
Bruce, offered a neutral party to assess the situation in exchange for some new chance at territory in the coming power.
So did any of you kill him?
They all kind of look at each other and they're like, "No, I bet it was fucking." Ironclad's like, "It
Hey,
was Rasputin."
Ume,
Moogie's
I'm
like,
sure-
"Of course you did." And they all just start
Ume,
accusing
before you
each
go
other.
into an
It starts to
accusing parlor,
rise
you
as
have
they're
to have
yelling at each
evidence.
other.
Okay, I'm gonna
Ume kind of smiles at the chaos you caused.
I'm gonna go grab the maid and just. What's your name?
It is Amelia.
Amelia.
Says
Okay.
it in a French accent.
Why don't you come with us? We're gonna go upstairs, and we may have to ask you some questions, but I can promise that I will be.
I cannot bear to see Victor like that again.
What if you don't have to? I'm just trying to get you away from these people. Just come upstairs with us. You don't have to look.
She kind of leans in. "Can you get me out of here? Just take me out the front door.
I can certainly
They
try.
will
but you
surely
have to-
kill me."
You have to cooperate with us, but I will certainly try. I'm not about to let people kill an innocent person. Come on.
Very well.
And I'll go
What'd you say,
upstairs with her.
Hex?
I said, hell, she doesn't even have to be innocent. Did you know, Victor?
Well, I mean, innocent in this, but I'm going to go up and I'm going to activate. So first of all, I'm going to pull out my UV flashlight and my UV goggles just in case before I even get to the scene. Put them on.
Okay, is your who's all heading up the stairs? Who's doing what?
Well, Reverend was already heading up.
Okay.
Yeah,
So Reverend,
definitely-
you'd be the
definitely
first
Reverend
one.
should be there.
While everyone was arguing, you were heading up, so you'd be the first one up the stairs into the room. As you look, you can see a large landing. It's filled with water, like there's water pouring out over it. It goes off into two rooms. You can see a bedroom. Door is open, and then there's an office. And the wall to the office is a large aquarium that has a hole through the window, and part of it's cracked. It looks like the water from the aquarium has spilled out, and there's fish swimming in the what's left of the water.
Okay, so like the whole aquarium broke.
The whole aquarium didn't quite break, but there's a fairly large hole punched in the top of it.
No fish were
Oh.
harmed in the making of this cyberpunk episode.
Okay.
Well, let's see. Where's our weapons tech? That would be Nova. What kind of weaponry would make this kind of damage? This has got to be some kind of what? Sniper rifle? High powered something or other? Is there anything from that we can see from the window that is
From
like
where
a vantage
you guys
point
are
from
at,
where it could have
just
come
on the
from?
initial landing, it looks like the shot went through the office, came in through the office. It's just the office is on the opposite side of the aquarium. There's like the door,
there a
the door
body?
So
is
through the
open.
wall?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
there's only a
I
handful
was
of
asking
weapons that
Sev
can
if
do
he was
that.
doing anything like, and Hexa, when they walked up the stairs initially, but there isn't like a body in the immediate area. There's 2 rooms up here on this upper level. There's just a large aquarium. It looks like the shot came through the office and hit the thing.
I go straight to the
aquarium.
office and take a look inside.
I mean,
By the way, I don't touch anything with my bare hands.
Well, I thought you were getting a drink, so I'm on Sev.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry.
I was like Sev, and I believe Sev
I would
went right up the stairs.
Yes, if it's just Sev there for now, I'd probably go up with Hex when she goes up.
Yeah, and I think
we were all going up after that, right?
No.
Sev just beat us too.
no,
basically.
Sev went up first. You were talking to the maid, and I was asking what everyone else. Ume said that they were getting a drink. I was waiting as Sev heads up the stairs first. What Hex and Nova are doing?
Well, that's why I was asking about Nova, what she can you were describing what looked like it's something that a weapons tech would maybe have the ability to analyze.
Yeah, so I mean, it seems pretty obvious that there was a shot fired, right?
Okay, so Hex and Nova, you guys went upstairs with Sev, or with Reverend.
Sure. Yeah, that sounds good. I didn't really know what I was doing, but
I just didn't want anybody to
love
touch
that.
anything.
Oh, okay. So as you guys are going up the stairs, you do see that, and Nova, it does look like it was a decent shot. If you'd like, you can make a weaponsmith to try and guess by impact, or the 3 of you can make an awareness notice.
Yeah, and I think I'd also wonder about the caliber of it too.
Could I possibly assist Nova in that?
Sure, with a weaponsmith check, yeah. You'd make your assist check first.
If I can see it. Alright, here's hope I can assist you. 15 for weaponsmith.
So that's a +1 to your
Ooh,
weaponsmith.
+1. Sounds good. And I'm gonna spend some luck on this. I want to spend 2 luck, so a +3 total. I'm gonna get a 22.
Okay,
And I got a 21 on awareness. So I
Hex,
between all
you
of us.
spot an impact in the ceiling, like a crater, in the ceiling, and you can still see a little bit of metallic in the crater, in the stone ceiling. Follows and then Reverend and Nova, you two kind of talking back and forth at like, well, look at how much damage it did to the aquarium. It's a little confusing because it had to be a larger caliber round for it to have that impact. But if it was a larger caliber round, it should have destroyed the whole aquarium.
Okay. And I would point out the impact crater in the ceiling with what might be a bullet. I don't know. You guys would know better than me.
How
Lift
high
me
is
up.
the ceiling?
Punch Rev in the arm.
They're like high vaulted ceilings, so about 3 meters.
Oh, could Rev boost me up?
That's about 9, 10
you-
feet. for us
Would you
Americans, I
say
think, right?
it's
Or I
a
guess
rev-
it'd be more than that. It'd be like 5 meters.
Okay, so Rev, I just punch him in the arm.
15
boost
feet
me
up.
up, and I start trying to climb up him like he's a tree.
well, Reverend's not like 10 feet tall, so I think we're
Yeah, but if
still
I were to
too
stand
short.
on your shoulder, support my legs, and I'm just trying to get up there.
I'll just fucking chuck Nova up above me.
For-
Try
You,
to-
you can't reach it.
For
Yeah.
comedy's sake,
something to get up there.
does Bard get up while they're like trying to do this weird circus act?
I was gonna ask while they're doing that. Hex, are you doing anything, or just watching? You're muted.
You muted. Melon.
Oh, well, I just pointed out the bullet in the ceiling,
Yeah.
so I kind of wanted to see what.
You see them
This is what
trying
they're
to
trying to
lift
look at, yeah.
and get them up, and it's way
Nova's
too high.
Nova's trying to get to the bullet, and they can't quite reach it.
Yeah,
Oh. How high is it? What? Okay.
About 5
Uh,
meters.
5 meters. That's like 15 feet.
15 feet.
yeah.
Shit. Mm.
Yeah, so let's
Meters
move on
roughly a
to
yard.
Ume and Bard because
yeah. Bard, you're
yeah.
talking to.
Well, I mean, I only told her to come upstairs with us, and then I was going to go up. That was sort of the whole vibe. Like, I wasn't.
You know, I think with everybody else going upstairs, I'm going to stay downstairs with the fixers.
Okay.
I do
Okay,
actually have
more.
some thoughts. When it gets back to me,
Basically, I just wanted to get the maid away from Ironclad, and then once we all investigate the scene, I might have questions for her. But I also just wanted to get her out of that area. So
Okay, so you walk her up the stairs and come up behind Hex and see
No.
Reverend trying to throw Nova up to the ceiling.
Okay.
no,
So
he
can
wouldn't be throwing her.
Can I
Lifting her.
assume? Should I make an awareness on this to see if I see anything that anyone missed, or can I just assume that because I can only the lowest I
You'd
can roll?
see
is
them pointing out the bullet. You could take your own look around the room if you want, but around this sort of foyer.
sure, just in case. But then I'm going to go into the other room as well. And again, I do have my UV out, so if there's anything that's only picked up by the UV light, I would see it. Just let me know. 25 on the awareness check.
Just see what.
Nothing new. Okay, I'm gonna look at this. I'm gonna go into the other room.
Okay. Anyone else doing anything?
So after Reverend obviously knowing this won't work, just holds
A
Nova
little
like
further. Just
he just drops Nova to like under his arm, walking around the room, looking for something like a table or something to add to their height.
You do see there's a couple of chairs and desks in the office, and there is on one small side of the room a display table with like a vase and stuff on it that you could use.
I mean, just me going out on a logic limb here, but if they've got maids who clean these damn ceilings, there's more than likely some ladder laying around here. How is she gonna clean the cobwebs from a 15-foot
You could ask
ceiling?
Amelia.
Just saying, unless you really want to play Jenga.
Lady is
Well-
right. Cleaning ladder in broom closet downstairs.
why didn't you
Reverend-
say that? Jesus.
Reverend will walk.
Put me down.
Fantastic.
Reverend
Thank
will
you
be
so much.
walking by her, saying, "Thank you. You're so much more help than the smartass." Pointing at Hex.
Hey, I got you the fucking ladder, didn't I?
I mean,
No,
Hex, if
actually,
it's
she
insult to you,
did.
he just is pissed off about smartasses, generally speaking. I should know.
But yeah,
Yeah.
Reverend will go get the ladder.
All right, yeah. Walk into the other room.
Oh well, which other room? The
You said there's
bedroom
an-
or the office?
Where's the shot look like it went?
Went through the aquarium. That's the wall of the office.
So well, I'll follow the trajectory of the bullet, basically. Like,
You don't know the trajectory of the bullet.
Do you
I'll-
happen
I'll-
to have like a room or a map for this?
I don't.
I'll glance-
You're in
so
a
basically,
large
Frosty-
sort of foyer landing.
basically,
Rectangle.
Frosty, I'm gonna look for the room with the body and then go look in that room first. That's the I'll glance in each of them, but
So there's a rectangular landing that the stairs go up and kind of reach. And from the landing, you can look out and see part of the living room, sort of looking down on it from the high vault. There's no railing, it's just open. Very avant-garde architecture. You can see the sort of half wall. The full wall comes down at the side on the far end of the room that splits the whole condo in half. On the ground level, it's a fireplace that divides the living room from the entryway to the apartment on the ground floor. The second level, it's just a wall. Then on the back wall, opposite side of where the stairs are, wide side of the rectangle, there are 2 rooms. One is a bedroom on the left-hand side, if you're standing at the stairway and looking forward. There's a bedroom on the left-hand side that's door is open. And you can see the dresser and sort of fancy bedroom. And from the stairs, looking through the door, you can see the whole wall is glass. If you go into the bedroom through the door, the far wall of the bedroom is glass.
Make it simple. You're giving me a lot of details. Bedroom on the left, office on the right, on the stairwell.
Yeah. And by the way, Frosty, with that awareness, because I have the olfactory boost, do I smell blood in any direction?
The scent of blood is coming from the office.
Okay, I'll go to the office then.
Reverend goes downstairs to get that. As Bard, you walk into the office, which is the office, the right-hand side of this landing, is the aquarium. Like the outer wall of the office / wall of the foyer is where the aquarium is. It was a thick, full wall aquarium. So you can, it's tinted glass a little bit, so it's hard to see through, even though it's because of all the cracks and breaks in it. But as you enter into the office, and Reverend, you get back upstairs with the ladder. Bard, you see the huge crack in the window that you saw flying up to the place runs through the whole outer wall. Like the office's outer wall is the wall of the building, and it's all one big window, and it's got a huge crack running along it, and there is a fairly decent sized hole in the window. On the floor is a flipped chair, like rolling office chair. There's an office desk with a computer, and you can see several bookshelves and filing cabinets and hollow displays. It's a very nice, very, very well done office. Lots of little knickknacks and trophies, but it's very clean and orderly despite the many things that are in it. And laying on the floor of the room, with facing upward, like on his back, you see Victor the Viper Kozlov. Now, there's a lot of blood in the room, but it doesn't look like enough to have bled out. The left arm of Victor is on the opposite, is on the far side of the room, and the shoulder is where it seems to be shredded, but it looks like there's a chunk of the elbow missing, and the hand is clutched around a phone. Victor is in a nice sort of silk pajama bottoms and bare-chested, and there's bits of metal sticking out of the impact on the shoulder. And there is sort of a wide-eyed expression on his face.
Okay, so a couple of questions, since I've seen bodies and things before. Does this man with the surprised expression on his... Well, I mean, I can just make a general awareness check, but I would like to know a couple of things. Does he look like he knew he was dying while he was dying? The hand around the phone, the surprised expression, the absence of a clear kill shot, it does suggest that he might have had a second to react to something. And so I'll put my gloves on, first of all, by the way. But
make a psychology check.
That's psychology. Okay. Well, I'll spend a luck on this. Good thing I was reading that book for a bit. 15? That's a success, I guess. But
he does look surprised. And like there was at least a moment to process what was going on.
Okay.
But Hex, what are you doing? As Reverend's coming back upstairs with the ladder.
Okay.
And Bard has walked into the office.
Yeah, and he's examining the.
He's taking a look at.
I've just kind of been like watching over his shoulder, I guess.
But,
okay, so you just went into
I feel
the
like
office.
We're all in there, yeah. Like
because I'm waiting for him to come back with the ladder.
Reverend has the ladder now.
Reverend's just coming back with the ladder.
Yeah, so like in the interim, I was just kind of watching over Bard's shoulder, waiting for
sure.
Reverend to come back with the
Reverend,
ladder.
you get back up with the ladder, and Hex, you hear him coming, and Nova, you're kind of standing around up there on the foyer. The ladder is high enough, perfect height to kind of go up and reach the ceiling to clean it.
You hold it. Let me just hold it.
Do you have tools you'll need, Nova?
Yeah, I've got tools.
Okay. Yeah, Reverend will just hold it steady.
Flathead screwdriver to wedge it out.
Okay. As you wedge the bullet out, make a weaponsmith check.
Okay. Let's spend 2 more luck on this one. That's a 25.
Okay.
Very nice.
It is a custom 20 millimeter round designed for high velocity and to be fired with a silencer. And it's got your handiwork on it.
Yeah, I was literally about to ask Reverend to check this body for poison.
I know, right? I was thinking the same damn thing. Oh no!
I'm gonna drop the bullet on the ground.
Reverend's gonna catch it.
using my phone, using my audio. I'm gonna text Reverend. Get in here. I need your help.
Well, you wouldn't know about the bullet yet.
Yeah. No. I know that, but I already suspected poison.
He needs his body expert.
Like I already suspected poison when I heard it wasn't a kill shot, and yet I knew that Nova had been dealing. Like Hex and I talked about this last week.
Well, the thing is, just offhand, if he lost his arm, he should have bled out, but there's not enough blood for bleeding out.
I'm aware. That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
So that's why I was calling Reverend in here, but also I'm going to pull out my forensics kit just in case. But more importantly, with the UV light, does this reveal amongst the blood any substances other than blood?
No. Just
okay. So
a little bit of organic material on his pajamas.
I'm going to get Reverend Hex, everybody get in here. Okay, so I'm going to examine the hole in the window. What angle does it look like it came from?
Make a physics check.
Hell yeah, I'll make a physics check. Got to get that IP.
So after he did the tags, everyone's just going to hear Reverend yell, "We're in the same building. Just
20.
Talk to us."
Well, I'm trying to be discreet, buddy, right? Like, because if this is the poison bullets from Bruce, then we have a problem. 20 on the physics.
First off, you still don't know we have the bullet.
No, but again, I see poison is what I'm saying, right?
You don't see any poison.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I suspect.
So
yeah,
that's no reason to not just talk openly.
Also, you'd never mentioned
Bard is a paranoid, untrusting asshole, and I suspected poison the second I walked into this room. So,
Hex, as you see Bard go over and start examining the bullet hole, and I'll get back to you, Bard, because it's going to take you a little bit of time to kind of look and figure out the angle and all of that. So as he's going to do that, and you see Reverend catch the bullet that Nova pulled out of the wall and dropped. What are you doing? You're muted.
I'm worried as hell because she said it was a 20 millimeter. Mm-hmm. And I know what Bruce had asked her. So I feel like if anybody would suspect that it's the Carrare bullets, I think it would be me. Or even Nova.
You see Nova's face.
She then let Bard know that yes, we could be in trouble here.
Yeah, okay. when Nova drops it, you see that she's nervous. Like it's a feeling of shock.
I'm scared for you too. This is what I was afraid of when you took the job. What I was trying to warn you about.
Oh, me too. I still remember that conversation. Hex.
So Hex is looking
I
around
remember
nervous,
like it was last week.
nervous and kind of going over to Bard and looking at him doing his thing. Are you trying to get everyone into the room or?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you call Ume up?
Yeah, actually, and we have I think we all have do we have the sub vocals or no? Yeah, we should, right? Did we bring them? Are we wearing them?
No.
Are you talking about the Molar ones
Yeah,
or
yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Like
thermals?
we were not going
I
on
mean,
that job, so I
I have
don't think that we
mastoid
actually did.
comms. I think
Yeah.
yeah, Mastoid Comp.
We
That's
didn't
what
Yeah,
I
you
bring
meant.
guys
them.
have
That's-
them, but you guys were just picked up at your homes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
go to
but-
the thing.
Yeah,
That's
but
why I was
whoever
using
said
the
I
phone
took mine
splice.
out, whoever said I took mine out,
Well, the
you can
mastoid
turn
comms are
them
like
off.
the little earwigs. So you just leave yours in.
Yeah,
Okay.
I wear a mask 24/7.
Fair, fair. You, I believe. I don't think anyone else is wearing their mastoid comms. You wouldn't have had
No,
any
because it
reason
would
to.
be weird. Like, yeah, we were not like running a job, so we wouldn't really be wearing them. But
So
I would pop downstairs to come do the head
All right.
thing
As you're
to
walking
Ume.
downstairs in Ume, we're going to cut to you. You've been listening to them talk a little bit. What have you been doing as you're hearing them argue with each other and talk about business?
Yeah, so there's a couple things I wanted to do. So first thing, I'd like to try to get a read on them to figure out like, do they all seem shocked, surprised, that kind of thing. See if I can't narrow it
Make a
down.
human perception check as you're getting a read on them.
I got a 20.
A 20. None of them seem surprised per se, but like it's more this is business, and they all seem far more excited about what it means for them than any sort of mourning or surprise or shock over Victor's death.
Okay,
Like
now that
they seem to give very little shit that he's dead other than what it means to them.
okay. Ume is going to go to the person who seemed to like her the least, and go over to Madame Mugi. And I'm imagining like she's like standing there, or maybe even sitting somewhere.
She's standing,
Eh.
just sort of waving her glass,
Sure.
swishing
I-
her glass and sipping on it, pacing back and forth across the room.
I'm gonna go to the edge of the sofa that's nearest, like edge of a sofa that's nearest her.
Mm-hmm.
And rather than sit on the sofa normally, I'm actually gonna stand on the sofa and sit on the back, and then lean over.
She kind of they all kind of narrow their eyes at you. Ironclad kind of smirks. But
I look at them and says, "What? He's dead. Why should he care?" I look back over Madame Mugi, and just trying to figure out how to phrase this. So, why do y'all even need us to look into this? Isn't this he's dead? Why dig into it? Just move on and figure this all out.
whoever had the audacity, and whichever one of my associates here decided to take business into their hands needs to be made an example of.
Why?
Anyone. Power, darling. It's about how we maintain order in the city. Uteo says, kind of listening in, Uteo's like, and an attack on any one of us is an attack on all of us. This could
You're
be
worried-
an attempt to assassinate many of the high-powered players in the
You're-
field. Any
you're-
one of us could be next.
You're worried about your own asses.
Ironclad's like, I ain't fucking worried.
Then why are you here?
I want to know whose skull to beat in after I thank him for the new position.
Well, the way I'm kind of thinking,
Oh, did you
If it
suddenly
is-
become an expert in criminal politics?
I'm
We're
not
all
going
here
to
to
be an
fight
expert.
over the spoils, just like when any king falls.
Hey, I'm the one person who I can guarantee you didn't kill this motherfucker.
That
So-
is a,
Unheard of.
that is a fair
I think
point.
that's why we're here, Ume.
Yeah, that's why I said it. Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I'm just trying to like. You clearly none of you are really upset by this guy's death. Yeah, all of you have obvious motive to want to have him dead. You're worried about somebody, whoever took him out, then taking you out in order to claim your piece of the pie. And then what if it's somebody else? What if it's some body with an agenda? I have a feeling you've all made plenty of enemies in your times, and it probably scares the living shit out of you. So I understand the situation quite well. I am just trying to look into each of you and try to see what you're thinking on it. So
Rasputin says, I think the woman has a point. None of this really matters. Victor is gone, and Night City needs a new king. I've got the arms and the men to enforce peace. My kind of peace. He was my brother. I should take over his position. And anyone who thinks otherwise will find themselves at the bottom of Del Coronado Bay.
don't they often say like family are the first suspects in a murder?
Madam
Especially if
chimes
inheritance is
in and
involved?
like, Rasputin, darling, she has a point, and brute force is so primitive. This city craves a subtler touch. My alliances span continents. With Victor out of the picture, the triple threat could expand their operations, and those who oppose us, well, accidents happen, don't they, little lady?
You say that, and that sounds like something or a position somebody who would manipulate the situation by murdering a rival and then blaming the brother would possibly say.
Ironclad kind of laughs. His voice booming throughout the apartment. And he's like, yeah, they're all filled with ambition, but you think they're the only ones? Little Chica? The slaughterhouse runs the streets. And you know what's going to happen? We're going to bleed the city dry if we have to. This investigation doesn't fucking matter. If anyone gets in our way, they'll get a personal introduction to my fists.
Well, then that sounds like to me the slaughterhouse has a lot to gain from this fucker dying, because if this was the guy preventing you from doing it, now you have free reign. So it seems pretty clear that you also are quite keen on being in this situation.
There's not enough blood upstairs for it to have been ironclad.
Sonia smiles and says, you both have points. You see, Ironclad couldn't do something like this. Power isn't taken by force or fear, but by control. And that is why we want you to investigate this. Information is the currency of the new age. And Victor's demise, it opens many opportunities.
I see. And so you kind of think that this information on what this could be very helpful, perhaps, if you contrived the situation yourself, created some sort of, maybe there's planted evidence up there, maybe there's not, but point at a rival seems like a very kind of way of manipulating information to your own gain.
When we got word of Victor's death, we all agreed to meet together simultaneously. It was only after confirming his death that we called Bruce.
Question: how was his death discovered?
The shark, who's been rather silent, kind of watching the whole proceedings, says, the maid made a call.
The maid who you're now beating up.
The one who's clearly distressed about his death.
She called the Wraith, and the Wraith informed us. Although he isn't here.
Well, because he's a Kozlov.
He's Victor's lieutenant, Alexei Morozov, the Wraith. He worked as his lieutenant, and he's conveniently absent from these proceedings.
I'm sorry, I'm a bit confused. Has Hex made it down yet?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been here.
Okay,
I've literally been here contributing to the conversation.
Well, no, because I thought you hadn't arrived yet. I was waiting for you to come down because I was under the impression, because I hadn't had a chance to do anything while you guys were up there investigating. So I didn't know you'd come. I knew you said you were coming down.
Just a slight misunderstanding.
Yeah, I thought I had time to talk to them before you came down here.
A little bit.
I was a bit confused why you were chiming in.
But yeah, as you guys are all talking downstairs, actually, Alexei the Wraith walks in from the other room as you hear the door shut and says, I've been making arrangements. There's a lot that needs to be handled for my boss's funeral.
Poor Alexi.
I'm sorry, Hex. Did you need me?
Oh, I imagine that we'll probably want to join the others upstairs whenever we're done talking with these guys.
Yeah, I guess I can leave. They seem pretty boring anyhow, to be honest. I get up and I follow Hex upstairs.
All right. So you guys head upstairs. Eventually, all kind of gathering up in the office as Bard is finishing his analysis. Bard, from what you can tell, the shot was a rather low angle. Make a streetwise check.
I'll spend a luck since I have a history of fumbling these. 20.
From your estimate and looking at the angle and where you can see out of the city, the shot came somewhere from the around the Tokugawa Tower in Little China / Japantown.
How far is that from here?
It's a decent ways, about 3 city blocks.
Okay.
Really
Right,
good
so-
shot. It came in
so
at a
shot
low
came from-
angle and upward. It looks at an upward angle, and
So-
it went through at just the right angle to clip him through the elbow and shoulder, and then go through the aquarium into the ceiling of the next
And
room.
ricochet into the ceiling. Okay. So by the way, so Bard will
But
just be
what's
muttering.
interesting is it would have been a perfect shot to the heart, but the armored glass of the exterior window deflected it just a little bit.
Okay. So I was smoking, so good shot, low angle, Tokugawa Tower, probably from a lower floor, went up through, bashed into the ceiling, shattered the aquarium, was aimed for the heart apparently, but the armored glass got in the way. Now this assassin, they clearly knew what they were doing, might have known the armored glass was there. Hence a contingency plan. This person didn't necessarily need to bleed out. Reverend, I do think you should check for that poison, for any kind of poison, given everything else
Before-
we've known.
As Reverend comes in and sees, is Bard saying this like out loud or kind of mumbling to himself?
He's saying it out loud enough for you guys to hear. He's Sherlocking, right? He is talking to you guys, but if you guys weren't there, he would probably still be saying it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right?
So first off, Reverend's gonna walk up to Bard, putting like a hand on his shoulder, leaning in to his ear. For detective, you should know not to smoke at a crime scene, buddy.
I put the cigarette out. Fair enough. Sorry, I get stressed.
You're good.
Also, we should do a forensic analysis of the body. There's no ballistic residue, is there, Frosty?
You've examined what you've examined. So
Are you
haven't checked
talking-
for anything else.
Are you
Can I-
talking like on the window?
Yeah, can I examine for ballistic residue?
Like gunpowder
No,
and stuff like that?
That's actually no, that
No.
wouldn't.
That'd be on the
Sorry.
hands of the person firing the gun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna examine the whole. So I'm gonna ask Reverend to examine the body for poison. I am gonna try to examine the hole in the window for traces of something other than just glass. Specifically, the rare poison that Nova was asked to put onto her bullets.
Well, you have no reason to suspect that poison yet, but just looking through the glass for any residue, make a forensics check.
Again, like I said, I do because we
Or
suspect.
make an awareness notice check. Hex, what are you doing as Bard is investigating the window?
Sure, you don't want me to make a forensics check? It's lower. I have a higher chance of failing.
Yeah, it wouldn't be forensics to do that. To just see if there's any residue or anything
All right,
in the
luck.
glass.
Have I made it back upstairs
26.
at this point yet?
Yeah,
or-
yeah. I was saying
Okay.
you guys all gathered into the
So
room.
would I see Bard like doing this?
Yeah,
this
yeah. That's what I was
examination
trying
and
to
shit?
say. Is he was
Okay.
doing?
Are
this
we
thing
all
as you guys were
gathered up close together, or are they
Yeah.
in like
and-
separate
yeah, more or
areas?
less.
And everything I said was to you guys, by the way. Like
Yeah,
when I was
you
talking
guys
about
are
the
all
bullet
in the
trajectory.
in the office.
And that's
Okay.
a 26, Frosty, to notice anything on the.
Okay. Where is that bullet? Who has that?
Reverend still has it.
I think you were. I think Hex was asking in character, like, who has the bullet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Reverend just sort of holds it up between his fingers. I have it right here.
Don't touch it. It might still have poison on it or something.
It
First
doesn't.
off,
It doesn't absorb through the skin, fortunately.
also, Nova, I wear gloves for a reason.
But Bard, you know why we're saying that, right? Like, we're showing you the bullet. We're talking about poison.
Yeah, no, I'm very
Okay.
aware. Like, I'm sorry. Okay, just so you guys know.
It just now it makes more sense that you would be like on the same page with the rest of us.
Yeah, no. Again, yeah. Sorry
bullet.
to all our viewers. I put my own thoughts ahead because I had the suspicions. And I didn't explain it in character. Indeed, right. So I'll look for that poison residue again.
But I'm confused,
and that
though.
being said, Ume,
Yeah.
we know who was probably behind this. If this has got that poison on it, and I'm talking as quietly as I can to them.
You know what I think? I think it'd be very strange for somebody to hire somebody to do a job like this and then bring the person who could identify the bullet here to look at it.
Unless they were hoping that we would help her cover up the evidence.
I
Bruce
think it's
was
more
quite
likely.
insistent.
I think it's more likely
That we were her crew.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think the thing is, Bruce, I don't think that would give her anything. Why would having us look at it? If that was the case, she probably would have approached us beforehand to vouch for it.
You
I
weren't
wouldn't
there
so.
the night you were there that night, but I don't think you saw that Bruce and Kozlov were getting into it at the afterlife.
Oh, look, I was just speaking to those people down there. They all fucking hated the guy. They all wanted him dead. And they're all
Well,
happy
of
he's
course,
dead.
like everybody's got a good motive for wanting him dead, but we know
Yeah,
one person who's
but
got a
there's-
lot of
there's-
ambition and a lot of reason to specifically maybe
Also-
go after Kozlov at this time.
Also,
Yeah, but-
you may, in your analysis, you are presuming a completely rational, non-psychopathic individual.
Hold on. Look, all I'm pointing out is that, like, we don't know who Bruce got that bullet. We don't know who shot the gun. Somebody could have just come to her, asked her for it, and she gave it to them, and then they're setting it up. If it was one of the rivals, right, who knew that she had this crew, and who knows Nova, who is well-known figure, it'd be fairly easy for them to kind of like to set this up to make it look like it was Bruce, and then
wait.
have her bring this
But
in.
she is like a small fish on the like. Why the fuck would they care about Bruce?
Exactly, and now she's here.
It's not about
offering
Bruce. Bruce,
She's
fall
the only
guy.
one who's looking to climb
Bruce-
up with a
No.
move like this. If
No,
they were
no,
to set
she's-
her
she's
up,
definitely
she's just
not. She's definitely not. Everyone down there are currently in the process of making arguments about why they should take over for Victor.
Right,
yeah, but
except that
every
Bruce
one of
was the
those
only
people
one
down
not
there
in
has
that
a lot
position
more
before.
territory and skin in the game already than Bruce does.
No,
So-
but
He's
I,
Ume,
but-
really
say that-
smaller in the air.
can I finish?
I mean, I'm sorry, I'm the fucking fixer. I thought I knew.
Also, not
no,
until
but-
Reverend actually and not until Reverend examines it and I actually get an answer on whether there's poison there, because right now we're spinning our wheels about that.
No, no. Look, I'm not saying that Bruce is a likely suspect. All I'm saying is that there is a very good scenario where one of the other people down there wanted Victor out of the way, and so picked the most ambitious, low person on the totem pole to be a fall guy. The presumption that it's Bruce is not unreasonable. I'm just pointing out that we need to keep open the fact that Bruce is being set up. Because
Well,
she'd be
this
the perfect patsy, because she is obviously angry at Victor. She is obviously trying to get up in the ladder, and she's also not as powerful as the rest of them, so she'd be the
I
perfect
know,
fall
but
guy.
if it is her, like that's what I'm saying is like we need to be wary of that because we could
Oh.
easily be the fall people in this situation for her.
I
like-
agree with that. I'm just saying that like we need to figure that out, and we shouldn't necessarily assume that it's her yet.
This
We
is
should just
why we do
be careful
something
that it's
called
her.
gathering evidence, which is what I was asking Reverend to do and what I was trying to do.
During all this, Reverend, because he noticed Nova, he's gonna walk over and just say, "What's up, kid?"
I'm just worried I've made 5 of those bullets.
Yeah, so 4 more out there.
Wait a second. That Hex, Melanie, you're mute.
You're muted.
You're still
Hex.
muted.
I could read
There you
those
go.
lips.
What were you saying?
The first part of what I was saying.
Yeah, we can skip the second part. As Frosty pointed out, we could all see what that was.
I was saying one for each of the people standing downstairs.
Pretty much.
I
Yeah,
think
That's
so.
why. That's why I was holding up 5 fingers before. By the way,
Okay.
I was trying to get my point across without words, which I'll never do again. I'll always be loquacious from now on.
Well,
Is there 5 people downstairs?
There's
What?
more.
Rasputin, Mookie,
Mookie,
Ironclad,
Ironclad,
Sonia, Mouse,
Sonia,
and Luther.
Shark.
I count 6.
Some
I
of
don't
those
think
are
Mouse
not
is
captains.
high up.
Yeah, exactly. He's not.
I think you're looking at Rasputin, Ironclad, Moogie, Bruce, and then you had Victor. Victor's not dead, so there's 4 bullets left, and there's 4 more down
Yeah.
there.
Well,
There's the other possibility. And I suggested this as a possibility to him downstairs. It's none of them.
Possible, but I'm gonna. So I still would like, Reverend. Do you need some help examining the body, by the way, for any traces of poison?
Yeah,
I'll
probably
give you
would
an
hurt.
assist.
but- Hex,
And if you ask, well, yeah,
holding up the bullet. How hard would it be to get a gun that could fire something like this?
not easy. That you'd need a good fixer, probably connections to Rasputin, which I've
Most of them
got,
down
but
there
also
have, yeah.
like, yeah, everyone standing downstairs pretty much has a connection to him in some capacity or another, and they could certainly get their hands on this kind of weaponry.
I don't think that that's
Including
going to be
Bruce.
a smoking gun. Haha! See what I did there? We were talking about guns, and I said smoking gun. I'm quite clever that way.
Maybe.
I would like to see if there's not a subtle way we can learn if Bruce sold the bullets from
So
that she got from Nova to somebody.
But before we keep trying to do that, I do kind of want to see what Reverend gets from the body, because we're talking a lot about the bullets, and
Yeah, we still have to verify if there's even Carrare on these.
yeah, so Reverend will pocket the bullet first off because he has plans for it, and
Okay.
and then him and Bard will start examining the body.
And did I find anything on the window, Frosty, by the way, with the 26? You
not.
never told.
Oh, not even with 26.
That was a
I
failure.
wouldn't honestly I wouldn't anticipate like Carrare to really
No,
keep leaving like much of a residue on the
would I.
glass. Yeah.
I suspected it would be
Make
like
a
30.
diagnose check, Bard.
This is for the assist. 22.
How is that possible?
It's a crit. It's a crit. I crit. Mhm.
Rolled an 11.
Yeah.
Okay. So that'll be a +2 to Reverend's diagnose check.
All right. If I were to utilize my micro optics when examining, would it help me anymore?
I'll give you a +1.
So
All right,
plus
so
three.
+3. God, I don't know what it is, but I just cannot see. My eyes won't focus. That's a 20.
All right. So from what you can tell, he was on the phone when he was shot. His arm was up, and the bullet came in through the elbow into the shoulder and sent the arm flying off.
So it came from behind or
No,
from-
forward, like he was facing the window on his
Okay.
phone.
Gotcha.
You notice his teleoptics are on their zoomed in function.
So he may have noticed.
He was looking at something through telescopic vision. The bullet made its way through his torso plate and hit his shoulder. You can see the damage to the torso plate. And the 20 millimeter round would have probably gone through his torso plate. The other thing that you notice, he did not lose enough blood to kill him.
Yeah.
You do find traces of curare around the wound.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just assuming you make the chemistry check to identify it, but there is residue in the wound of a poison. But what's interesting is the blood is clotted around the wound, around the section of his shoulder and torso that are missing. The blood has already clotted, and the bleeding was stopped. If you want, you can make a cybertech check.
Yeah, I will. I'm assuming it's some
cyber shit.
19.
All right, yeah. He has a pacesetter heart and clotting nanites that are designed when you're bleeding out to automatically stop the blood flow and cause the wound to clot up.
Sounds like
Are you sharing this with us, by the way, Reverend?
What's interesting is that probably helped the poison so that he didn't bleed.
Kept it in his system.
Yeah.
I was gonna, if Reverend is sharing this, I would say, so somebody probably knew he had that and used this for that then.
So, the way Reverend probably does it, he probably pulls out a little notepad, writes down his own notes, and then just hands it to Bart while he keeps examining.
And I'll write down sort of.
Otherwise, he was in good
Ume
health.
looks over the shoulder. Does it mention the telephone?
We're just like
Does it mention the telephone when he was on the phone in your notes, Reverend?
Yeah, it would.
I'm writing this down, but as I'm writing it down, like
Hex and Ume like looking over your shoulder.
potentially,
yeah, basically
like assassin.
two
might have known
gargoyles,
about clotting.
attractive gargoyles.
Damn straight, girl.
Assassin might have known about clotting. Cyber kept poison in. I am gonna, I'm just writing, but absent-mindedly, right? Like as he's writing, I'm gonna turn and walk back towards Amelia.
Hey, Nova. What? He was on the phone based off the notes that Reverend made. Can you figure out who he was talking to?
Yeah, sure, probably.
Yeah.
I'll pick up the phone and
Star 69.
yeah, star 69.
Oh God.
Just you star 69 and call back.
Yeah, sure.
Can you get IP for that? You didn't have to make a roll. I was going for a tech roll.
I'll allow that. No,
wait, hold on. For those of you who are younger than the age of 30, before there were smartphones and you had old landlines, the way you had to know who called you, there was a thing you could do, which was I think it was star 69.
It was.
And it would call them back. I'm pretty sure we had to explain that because there are probably
and it
people on
cost
the
money,
internet
and your
that know
parents
that.
would always find out and bitch
That's
at
right.
you. Yeah. Did you star 69 a number? I mean, Mom, there's no caller ID.
What was this supposed to do?
So you star 69 and get a number.
Yeah, I'll write it down on one of Reverend's pieces of paper. And I'll actually smack him. Write this down. 7.
Bart
9.
hands the notebook back.
No.
555.
Andrew, we're on the internet. You have to start with a 555 number to make it a fake number.
Yeah. So I'll read it back to him. I'm not sure who it is though.
Can I do? I'm not very good at it, but can I attempt a library search roll to see if I can figure out where the number
Like
belongs?
look
Yeah,
up
the
the
same
number.
Sure.
What are you using to look it up?
My
Wiki?
smartphone.
Do you have a data term?
Frosty,
thing?
I was gonna ask if I could because I actually have the equipment, but
You can probably do it.
If this is an age where you can't easily look at people's number, is there not a white pages on the desk near the phone?
There'd probably be a phone book on the thing, kind of looking through it. Sure, make an
Which would-
awareness notice.
That would probably take longer. I could try to library search. if you guys want.
It's not a very good.
No, he's fancy. He'd have one of those Rolodexes, right?
Oh, that's it. Yeah. I'm picking up the phone book. Do you say that to me?
Oh, Reverend?
Seb, did Reverend actually say that to Ume as she's about to pick up the phone book and go through it?
I don't know.
Probably not.
Probably.
Reverend.
Okay, then I do waste my
Pretty
time
good.
going through the phone book.
Because, Bart, go ahead, because I was going to say something to Nova.
Go ahead. I was making a joke.
Nova, is there any way you could I don't know if he has it, access what he saw before he died?
Yeah, I mean, if he has like a neural link or something like that, some sort of like neural recorder.
When I was examining him, did he have a neural...
That would take a
Set
much
up.
more in-depth thing. You'd have to crack his skull open and poke around his brain. You are welcome to do that if you like.
Does he
So-
at least have cyber eyes?
He does
Yes,
have
he
cyber
does.
eyes, which means
So-
he definitely has a neural processor in there. You don't know what things he has. You also know he's got a chip socket.
Yeah. So, first off, Reverend unslings one of his bags, sets it on the ground, opening it, sticks his hand out in it, and pulls out one of those saws they use
Bone
to
saws?
cut through skull. Yeah.
What are you? What are you doing?
I'm about to crack this melon open. We need answers,
Let's-
don't we?
It's not going to get
Is it
dirty.
one of those little rotary saws that like?
Yeah. But
It's probably just a Dremel tool that you use
Yeah.
for.
Yeah.
Oh, your Dremel.
So for comedic effect, as Bard is walking and writing in the journal to go talk to Amelia, he hears that, just looks back.
I haven't
Just
started
keep
cutting
going.
yet. Reverend's just
No,
revving it up.
No. He hears the revving. He just like looks up, looks back,
And
shrugs,
I don't
and
know
keeps going.
I don't know if chip slots are like you just push it, it pops out, or you gotta pull it out.
Yeah. You kind of
So
like
Were
a
they
switch,
ever
right? You push it
intending-
in a little bit and it pops out.
On calling the NCPD about this murder?
I doubt it.
Reverend just shrugs. Don't we just have crime lords downstairs?
Well, that's
He
what I was
really-
wondering. Are they even intending on calling anyone about this?
I doubt it. I really do.
They did call
Well,
somebody.
if that's
they
the
called
case,
us.
then maybe we should take him to someplace better than his office, like Bo's, a clinic, a Ripper Dog.
I'm sure they would love to have a murdered crime lord
I-
at any of those locations.
That's
Hex,
true, that's
usually I'm
true.
not, but I'm insulted now.
I was worried about this.
I got a 15 on that awareness roll, by the way, Frosty.
You digging through the phone book and not finding any match. And you're getting frustrated, and you look up and you see a Rolodex.
And there's a Rolodex.
Yeah. So you start going through the Rolodex. And his computer is on and active. And you start going through the Rolodex. And then you reload, and in a really tattered, like, old piece, you find a matching number. And it just says Lucky Eddie as the name.
Lucky Eddie. Hey, Hex, does the name Lucky Eddie mean anything to you? You're on mute again, Melanie.
Yep.
You're still muted.
Oh shit! Sorry.
Now we can hear you.
Would that be a Streetwise?
That would.
Okay. I actually don't know off the top of my head. 18.
You've heard of him. You've never met him. He's a low-level street informant. He hangs around, goes around everywhere. He's always doing drugs. He's high, and you can pay him for information. He's always going around and watching shit and kind of perving on Night City crime life and people. And, but yet somehow he always manages to avoid any criminal prosecuting. So, Lucky Eddie.
All right.
which probably
Wow.
means he's a CI.
He's in. No, he's in the pocket. Yeah, exactly. He's a snitch.
And then,
There's only one way you stay out of jail.
And then, as a final note, if Nova looks busy, is not busy. If she's busy, I can do it or try to do it. But Nova, there's also this computer that's on. Maybe there's information there.
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
Yeah.
Go for it. I think I'm going to try to help Sev hack into this dude's brain.
All right, I'll let. There's a couple people doing some of the things. I've spoken a bit, so I'll take a pause and come back to me, and I'll do my computer stuff then.
I'd like to go talk to Amelia.
Okay. So she's just standing out, sort of sitting on the floor, crying, up in the foyer landing of the second floor.
I sit next to her, and do you smoke or drink?
Oui.
Do you want a cigarette and some alcohol?
Oui. Yes.
I hand her a cigarette, and
I'm sorry. I was trying. Could I be with the? I don't want to watch him crack open his skull.
Okay. Yeah, you're welcome to have stepped out of the room.
I was gonna try and say that earlier. And
You
then
can
moving
totally.
on.
I was actually going to ask you to come with me to Amelia.
Yeah.
If you wanted to.
That doesn't seem like a Texas thing. No.
I'll hand her a cigarette, light it, like a gentleman, pour her a drink, and look, I know you're in a rough place right now, but any information you could give would be really useful. And again,
I have no information to give. I hear gunshot. I scream. I go to office, find Victor like that dead.
was he? I'm trying to get information out of her.
He was a good boss. He took care of me, and we were close, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, you had sex. I got it. Was he dead when you got there, or
Oui.
was he still
Yes.
alive? Can I make a human perception to see if that's true?
Sure.
I'm just trying to figure out if he had any last words that he said to her, right? I'm assuming he was I don't think she killed him, right? But yeah. 25?
She's being honest.
Okay. So, it looks like he was killed by some sort of a sniper, obviously. He was on the phone at the time. Had he expressed any particular worries to you recently? More so than usual?
No, he busy with work. He do job managing whole crew. Slaughterhouse giving him trouble recently. And
Slaughterhouse giving him
shipment
trouble.
from out of town violate business.
Was that from Bruce? The
don't
out-of-town shipment?
I do not know. I tend not to listen. Business private.
Okay.
I clean and spend time with boss. Keep him company. Lonely at top. As she starts saying something in French.
I unfortunately don't speak French yet. Sorry, what was that? I missed it. I don't speak French.
He did not trust many working girls. But he took liking to me and brought me to this country and was very kind to me. Gave me a job.
I see.
Did you happen to hear anything?
He was yelling about how dare they? They'll never get away with it. He'll track them down and make them pay.
Any idea who that might be? Was he mad at anyone?
No, Victor never got mad at anyone.
This was before the gunshot, correct?
Obviously, Bard.
Well, again, I don't know. Maybe he was yelling after he was bleeding out, right? Like,
Seemed to talk to someone just overheard a little bit of shouting.
Did you get a name?
No.
Did you hear glass breaking?
Oui.
Or you did? Okay.
It's like thunderous crack. Echo
But
through
you
house.
didn't hear, say, like a
Then
bullet or a
aquarium
gunfire.
Shatter.
No,
glass?
she said she heard a gunshot.
Did she?
No.
No gunshot, just glass.
She said she heard the...
Remember, the bullet had been modded to come out of a silenced
Right,
weapon,
right.
I
Sorry,
believe.
I think
too.
it might have been
Yeah.
a miscommunication as well. That she heard a crack sound. Right. That's just
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Yeah,
She
that
heard,
was the glass.
She heard a
A
bang.
loud sound, a bang. Right. Sorry, I interpreted that as gunshot. Sorry, that was my fault. Okay. So
And then glass shatter.
And then nothing from Victor after that.
No, I ran to try and find him, and he was dead. I shook him, trying to wake him up. He did not respond. I called
So he died
Alexei, and
very quickly.
then they all showed up, and they beat me to ask me the same questions you asked.
okay.
Well, I'm so sorry they did not need to rough you up.
The big guy.
He was not gonna. Yeah, I'm not surprised he's a fucking asshole.
Hex, I know this isn't part of the job, but I did make Amelia a promise that we try to get her out of here, and you might be able to help with that.
I wouldn't mind too if Reverend could maybe take a little look at her and make sure they weren't too mean.
Does she?
Hex, make a streetwise check.
Streetwise. Yep. 22.
A startling thought occurs to you as they might just kill her and dump her body along with Victor's to cover up any evidence of the crime. And theoretically, if you guys don't figure out who did it, you guys would also be witnesses to be covered up.
Yeah, that's why I was saying that we should get her out of here. But
Mm-hmm. But they're not gonna want to let her go.
And whoever
So-
got a hold of her could technically try and get information about Victor's operations out of her. Depending on their inclinations.
well, I'm not about to let.
Boy, that's a tricky one. Typically, if you want to get somebody out of the city, you need a fixer. I guess you have me.
I'm gonna look at Hex.
Such a voice of confidence there.
Oh, well, I use a network of fucking fixers now, don't I? Most of which happen to be standing in the living room.
It's fixerception.
Yeah.
I can help front whatever money you need, but I don't. Right. So far, what do we have? Poison bullet, trajectory from a crack shot. Someone on the phone called Lucky Eddie.
Look, if it wasn't Bruce, then we need the name of the client that hired her to approach Nova.
Hex, how far do you trust Bruce?
I mean, about as much as you can trust anybody in this city.
But what I was saying was, if we were to call her up here and ask about these bullets, she does seem to be a straight shooter. But, and as much as I disagree with some things that have been said, if she was going to call us in, I mean, a crew with Nova, who knows ballistics, Reverend, who knows diagnostics, me, who knows investigation, you, who knows the street. this isn't a thing we weren't going to figure out.
And
I mean,
who knows?
Oh,
how
to stir
rock.
the pot. Basically.
I'm not
It could be
there.
that one. It could be that one.
I'm
Let's
not
all
there,
just point
forgive
each
me.
other's fingers.
Anyway, like I said, I would like to call Bruce up here and ask her about this, but
I mean, if we can at least get the name of the client. But if there was no client, then we're all in a bit of a dilemma.
right. But at least we would know what waters we're swimming in.
But
Thank you.
all right, time
Okay.
to evoke the Sharknado.
I'm gonna use my cyber audio to contact Bruce. Can you come upstairs for a second?
You hear her downstairs say, excuse me for a second. My associates want to talk to their big boss, and, gotta make sure I crack the whip and keep them in line. And she comes up the stairs, and it's like, perhaps we should talk about this in the office, no?
Oh, where the body is. and you hear little saw noises.
No, not there. Not there, right here.
I know what I'm doing, Nova. This isn't my first.
Ume's
right,
like
yeah, you do
Ume's
this
like
for,
doing
like,
her
a
best
living.
not to look at it as she's on the computer.
Bard will walk in and be completely unfazed by Reverend dissecting this person, but
I'm not dissecting.
yeah,
Not yet.
pull Bruce into the office.
But Ume, you were looking at the computer. Were you looking for anything in particular?
Yeah, I think what I would probably want to look at first are any recent communications he had. I probably, in the span of time that we've had, because they haven't been gone that long, it's probably the most I could probably look at in that short time, I would think. It has been like 30 seconds since I left the room. Maybe a minute.
So just
A quick
looking.
look through the... Yeah, but I would think I'd need to actually try to get into it and find it. I mean, I could do a quick, like maybe a library search roll to... if there's no
Let's see.
password.
Yeah, just do a library search.
See what I can find in such a short time. I understand that might be a higher difficulty. I'll give it a shot. I mean, what else? What have I got to lose? I got a 17. A respectable roll. Is it good enough, Frosty?
It is not. You just see
wow.
solitaire, some games, business files, databases, some programs.
Wait,
It's rather indescript, actually.
Did you
It's-
say
it's-
solitaire?
Yeah.
what kind of
It
games? That
comes
tells you
packaged
about
in
a
all the
person?
cyberdeck OSs. I mean,
Yeah. But you're just quickly looking
you guys look
through.
over. Ume's playing Minesweeper.
Yeah. Reverend, you're cutting through the skull as Nova's like, there's Bruce, and then walk in, and blood splatters over Bruce's face, and her tongue comes out and just kind of licks a little bit of it up.
I wouldn't
close
do
the
that.
door.
It's poisoned.
Well, that's what we wanted to talk to you about.
Question: after hearing that, does Bruce spit or no?
Yeah, she kind of looks around and spits it out.
So, those rounds you asked Nova to modify.
Yeah, those the 20 millimeter rounds.
Yeah, Reverend, do you still have it?
Yeah.
I'm gonna get up and I'm just like, my hands are all disgusting.
And there were traces of the poison in the body.
Yeah, Bruce, what gives?
I don't know. Looks like you've managed to get yourself into quite a pickle. It'd be a shame if those monsters downstairs found out you're the one who made these.
It'd be a bigger shame if they knew that you're the one who had us made them.
Oh, I agree. I don't think any of us would make it out of here.
I agree. So
Okay, but hey, no, you two. We're all on the same side. Bruce.
I would hope
these
so. I mean,
are
you
yeah,
heard them.
right?
Each of them plans
Don't
to
you-
carve up the city for their own gain.
Exactly, and I'd like to fucking walk out of here in one piece, as I imagine, and so would you.
well, think we won't tell them that if we can avoid it when we walk out. But I mean,
Well, look. There was a client, right? Bruce, you said that these bullets were custom for a client, right?
Yeah, never got their name. They operated through a third party.
Are you sure that client wasn't just you?
Wow.
Yeah, Bruce. You sure?
hey, Nova.
As she grins and kind of leans in, are you accusing me of something?
Hey, Reverend, what would happen if somebody were to eat the blood of somebody who'd been poisoned by this? Would they get sick or die?
Yes. Actually, yes. No, it really, if you did ingest curare in any sort of degree, you would definitely die. Just
As
saying.
Bruce is asking,
So
It's actually not
I
poisonous.
don't think it's Bruce. Bruce, I don't think it's you because you literally just ate the blood off your face, knowing it was poisoned.
I could
If it
always
was
have
you.
a cure. Let's be honest. And she grins.
Okay, look, do you want to incriminate yourself?
I'm just saying.
Bruce, did you set me up?
Yeah, it seems like that.
I gave you a
Look,
job.
they're not stupid. That's why you hired them. Us.
I know. None of you guys are stupid. I figured you'd figure out who was doing this. As far as I'm concerned, you got a couple leads on the kind of person who might do something like this. I'm just a fixer in the middle, making connections. A guy wants custom bullets. I take the bullets to someone to make them custom. What they do with it ain't my business, is it?
Except when you're also neck deep in shit.
The point is, Bruce, if this wasn't you, and I don't think it is, that means somebody purposely had you make these bullets specifically to set you up for this.
She locks
Yeah.
the door to the office and turns. And what if it is me? Huh?
Well, if it is you, then you set us up, and we have a longer-term relationship issue that you and I need to discuss
Well,
in private.
that's like Ume. She
No.
literally just
Here's
said
the
to
thing.
set us up.
And what if it is? Think about it. We could steer Night City away from the brink. Help me, and we'll show these predators they underestimated the will of its people. Fail? And well, I don't need to spell out what these animals are capable of.
Yeah, again, Ume, she did it, but she roped us in so that we can't really get out.
I mean, I personally,
With Victor gone, it's time for a new order. One where the people aren't at the mercy of these vultures, don't you think?
Okay, so for posterity's sake, and for me, because I can't stand leaving a case unsolved.
Well,
all
you
the
haven't found the
evidence-
killer yet, have you?
No, I
Do you
haven't.
think I
but
can shoot someone in a fucking tower?
Okay,
All right,
okay.
so who's the killer?
All right, so we need the guy who hired you, who approached you to have the bullets made, and we need the trigger man. And then we can stay the fuck out of it, both you and us.
I think that makes sense. The only thing is, all I know is I was approached by some chick in a mask and hood. Maybe a friend or relative of yours truly over here.
Who?
Not everyone who wears masks is fucking related, Bruce.
I don't know. You all look the same to me.
she's probably a member of the same religious cult.
Maybe. I didn't get her name. I didn't ask questions. I don't bother with that. I'm a good fixer.
Well,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't-
If we can give everybody those two, then we don't have to say anything about anyone else's involvement making these bullets.
Okay,
You know, I was thinking the same thing.
Bruce. You've done this well, but I'm a bit of a moron, and so I would ask you one thing if we're going to go through with this.
You really think you're in a position to be making demands of me?
I'm not. I'm asking a favor, which may also
All right,
redound
let's
to your
make a
benefit.
deal. What are you asking for?
Amelia gets out of here alive. and doesn't randomly meet an untimely death afterwards.
Now that's a hard ask. You know what those animals want to do to her?
Yes. And I also know she has information about Victor's operations and that she is innocent.
Oh, I'm aware.
And
I had that
Bruce,
feeling. Oh,
So-
you got my little Nova.
she's Nova.
I thought I misheard. I thought it was Nova who said Bruce. My apologies.
You were suggesting we were maybe not in position to ask favors, or to make, maybe you could lord this over us or something like that. I just want to point out that the people in that room out there, they don't give a shit about us. But any evidence that points to us is going to immediately point at you. So we're in this together.
That's the way I see it.
Yes. So we're not your playthings to throw around in this case.
Of course not. I'd never treat you guys that way. You guys are my valued colleagues. We're going through this whole thing together. Didn't I tell you, Hex? We're going to rise to the top.
Bruce, did you know what you were going to use those bullets for before I made them?
Really?
I had no ideas.
Can we?
I want to definitely whatever I could do to see if she's lying to
Human
me.
perception. Can I make a human perception check, Frosty? Like we
Sure.
all should make.
Can we all make a
Sure.
So, go ahead.
No, sorry. I'm still trying to negotiate for Amelia, but that's
Oh, whoa, crap!
No shit. That's
I rolled a
good.
26. I mean,
25.
I'm not bad at it. I'm no bard, but you know.
I just want to say, as Nova started talking to Bruce, Reverend put down the soul. Only a 15
hell
for.
is-
I think I've already
Rev.
put 3
Nova,
points
what
in
was
it.
yours?
I'm trying to find it still.
It's under empathy, so left column.
Oh, here it is. Okay.
Yeah.
I have the worst time. I'm going to spend another 2. That leaves me at 4 for this session.
if only we had somebody at roll 20 to talk to you about it.
No. 19 is what I got.
It's whoever designed the sheet, obviously, because these are all fan made, right?
Yeah, because they don't officially support Cyberpunk 2020.
Yeah.
Well, really, who we should talk to is Artel Sori and see if they'll create an
Yeah.
official module.
So what? Did anyone get over 30?
No,
You just can't get a read on her. She's a little too crazy.
I got the highest at 26.
Yeah, I got 25.
I'm going to. So, what was her answer that I was trying to perceive on?
That she didn't know a thing.
Okay.
And you can't tell if that's the truth or not. You just can't.
So-
I'm gonna just leap at her like a crazy hyena. Just
Can I make a what is it? Is there like a reflex check to catch somebody?
Make an athletics
I mean, you could
check.
probably tell that Nova is getting very heated.
I'm gonna spend. I'll spend 1 luck.
All right.
22.
Yeah, you grab Nova. As Nova.
Bitch, I can't believe you! You ruining my dreams of owning a shop! And I'm just like kicking and
No,
screaming.
Nova,
touching.
quiet. They'll hear you downstairs. Bruce,
Cool down, kid.
you obviously were quite upset when somebody lied to you about a job. So I am going to make the assumption, mostly because we don't have much choice, that you are not lying to us. But I don't think any of us would be as. I think we'd all be equally upset as you would be, find out that we'd been lied to about this. Anyway,
I knew where the bullets were going. At least the first. I got no idea what else is on the person's hit list. But you don't order 5 of those bullets.
I knew it! And I'd go again.
No. Bruce, thank you. Did you order the hit, or did you just know the hit was coming?
She just grins. What do you think?
I think that you're a psychopathic shark woman, but I also know that you have a bit of honor to you. And I'm asking you this again as a favor. I know it's a big ask to get Amelia out, but you also know she could provide you with information. This is not just a kindness of your heart thing. You could get things from her. But I would ask you on your honor to not harm her.
I've never heard her.
That
ain't my style. She ain't done nothing wrong to me.
Use whatever excuse you want to the others.
I'll tell you what. I'll get her out of here if you pin this on Luther.
Which one's Luther?
Luther the shark.
Okay.
It's his nickname, isn't it?
There's only room for one great white shark in these waters.
I figure. Bruce, I don't care about who gets pinned on, personally. These are all politics. I do appreciate you being honest with us. I do want to say that.
I'm going to smile at Bruce and say, I don't know what the rest of my group wants to do, but when you hired me, you knew the motto and the terms of my business.
I guess what matters more, your honor or this person's life? Just think about all the horrible things they're going to do, and all you need to use is a couple of words. They know how reputable you are. Besides, gives you plenty of time to gather evidence on whoever ordered the bullets. You asked me if I ordered it? I'll tell you this much. What do you think the price of the bullets were? Yeah, this is my plan. I've got aims for this city, and I plan on taking you guys up with me or down with me. So it's up to you if you want to play along. You jumped the shark a little bit by coming straight to me with this. I intended to lead you on a wild goose chase, chasing after whoever ran for those bullets, until eventually getting you guys on my side. But we can decide here and now how we want to do it. You can work with me, and we can make this city a much better place than under Victor's rule and get rid of those downstairs. Hell, I think half of you have had run-ins with the Slaughterhouse or the Triple Threat anyways, and they ain't friends of yours. Didn't they take your cat, Bard? You really think they're going to give it back?
Do you mind if I pin this on Ironclad?
No, I got plans for him.
Can you get my cat back?
I'll leave that up to you. When we discuss future plans. But this ain't the place for that discussion, now is it?
Fine. So you want me to pin this on the shark?
It's going to take some effort. You're going to need to track down the whoever made the shot. Get records from them. It's going to take you a little bit of time.
Sure, but I can at least start the process when we go downstairs.
Hey, how you guys operate's your business.
Well, Melanie, I was about to ask if Hex had any ideas and thoughts.
Well, first off, we need to get rid of everybody that's standing downstairs because we need time to be able to investigate and do whatever it is that we need to do. They seem to be of the mind that we're going to just figure out who it is miraculously right this minute.
I'll leave you alone to get your story straight. She walks out the door, unlocks it, and heads out. Take your time, they're in no rush. By the way, you're each getting paid for this little job. So, hopefully you can track down who's responsible.
It might take a little time. I yell out after her,
And she
or I
walks
shut the door and lock it.
Yeah, because we have
Well-
limited resources from this room. We can't do a whole
Yeah.
lot. Give them
Yeah.
exactly what they want from here.
Well, I think though, before we progress, Hex, you were right about Bruce. Apparently, so I think the question is, what do we want?
Oh.
Look, I was honest with Bruce. I really don't care who this gets pinned on. I'm not here to justify Bruce's actions for taking out somebody and wanting to take over the city. They're all horrible people. We're all just edge runners trying to get by. I mean,
Oh yeah, but I don't love being a pawn. I imagine most of you don't either.
No, I hate it.
I am not a fan of being a pawn. No.
But on the other hand, the life of an innocent woman lies in the balance here. So
I think what Bruce did to Nova is not right. That's the biggest beef I have.
Well, and she won't stop there. She'll
No,
do whatever
she
she
won't.
needs to do as long as it serves her own ends. And that means slitting any one of our throats at any given time. So, who was it who asked me if I trusted her recently? 'Cause the resounding answer would be, fuck no.
Yeah, she lost her chance to have our trust.
I mean, I could just go down there.
I
and
knew
tell
it.
them all that
I
this
knew
is-
it when I went on that date with her. Didn't I tell you this, Bard?
Yeah. I could go down there and just tell them all it was her, but
Sorry, I might have missed it. Bruce left, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
She did.
Nova will just pipe in and she'll say, that fucking Bruce. But if I get a workshop out of it, I'm okay with that.
Well, Nova, I must say that I appreciate the fact that you are able to look past this misunderstanding and gain what you think is valuable to you.
I mean, it does kind of sound kind of sexy to be the person that designed the bullet that took down Viktor Kozlov.
Hey,
At some point in the future where they're not actually going to try to kill me for it.
yeah.
At this point,
Well, you know
Reverend
what?
will let Nova go.
There'll be more opportunities for that, Nova.
Your
But-
standards are very skewed.
To what Hex was saying, we cannot trust Bruce. That is now very much made obvious.
She was
However,
very honest with you guys when
Well,
confronted.
yeah, well, that's a key difference there, Frosty.
but she also
Eventually,
set us
eventually,
up,
when we when
Frosty.
Yeah,
Ume
when-
Can
killed
only
her.
be
When basically-
counted on so far as to
she
look out
did
for
lie.
herself.
She did lie to us until Ume confronted her about
Yeah.
the importance of honesty,
Yeah.
using
true.
her own desire to be honest with people against her. So that is a
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
that's not a very
I always suspected she was out to use this for something. Now we know why.
well.
Again, I am fine to go down there and tell them all that Bruce orchestrated this, but you know,
The problem.
I mean, I don't
is
think
we're-
that that's really something that's on the table.
We're connected to Bruce.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
pulled
If
us
Bruce
in.
goes down, we go down
Mm-hmm.
why?
because we
We're
were
her
brought
crew.
on by her. We're involved in this because of her. We're associated with her, at least with these
Oh,
people.
not to mention that Nova actually did make the fucking bullets.
Yeah, because if we go down there and say that, the first thing Bruce is going to make sure we go down with her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is, what do you call that? Mutually assured destruction? Yeah.
Exactly, mad. I think I was like, my history's not very good. I think I was like a
It's-
Cold War thing.
Yeah.
Yes, it was. Robert
It's called the
Jervis.
Mad Doctrine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So,
That was Ume in character. David knows very well.
I know.
I've
That's
seen Doctor
Reverend.
Strangelove.
No arguing. This is the war. room.
now, all right. But like, look, I don't like being under the thumb of anybody, and I certainly don't like being played for a sucker. But
Well-
all the people that are standing downstairs are incredibly dangerous individuals, and to what Ume's point, none of them are very redeemable.
Well, you
So-
know, Hex.
There's this would be a hell of a move, but we could just ride this out and see how far it goes.
Well, that's
And then
fine.
if she ever really becomes a problem, you know she would slice any one of our throats if it meant saving her own skin.
I
I'm just saying we don't reserve the same respect for her.
I think
Grr.
playing this out is the right way to go.
Yeah.
But I think if only we had a fixer we did trust that at some point in the future could be a good replacement for Bruce when that day comes. If
Someone
only
who
a
who
green
always kind of wanted to be the head knights.
Right, right.
What animal
somebody
are you gonna
did.
be? Like,
I
you gonna
think-
do like
I
a
think
Because
somebody-
I'm
lion
sick
or
of
a-
people like Bruce chomping down on people like us and using us for their gain.
I think whoever that person is has to have green hair. I just think that's a requirement.
Wait. Oh, so you weren't talking about Nova? Because I thought you were for a second.
All right.
Well, I
Well,
think-
you guys
I
are
think no.
deciding. We're going to take a bit of a break.
All right.
We'll be right back, everyone.
It'd be a devious fucking play. So
And welcome back, everyone. Last we left off, you guys had just confronted Bruce, who had effectively admitted to putting a hit on Victor Kozlov. And had basically admitted to using you guys in this whole assassination attempt. And planning to use you guys further to change the way the city's run. And you guys, she'd left the room and shut the door and kind of threatened you guys with, all of you can go up the ladder together, or you can all go down together. It's up to you guys. And you guys were kind of in the room still figuring stuff out. Reverend had finished sawing through Kozlov's skull. Have you actually popped the skull off yet, Reverend, or did you just leave it?
Not yet. I'd be taking my time because I don't want to break anything.
Okay.
Having wasted my time on Minesweeper a bit too long. I would like to, assuming we have like maybe more time now, because that last roll I think was just for like that short time we had before they really showed up. I'm going to try to do a deeper dive into the computer and emails. We can do that. We can do the roll for that, like I think towards the end. That's probably going to take more time. But that's what Ume's doing
now.
Okay. Do you want me to do it? I think last time was an awareness roll. Do you want me to do a different roll? I think this time I'm trying to dig more into like the computer itself.
Yeah, that would be.
Oh, it was library search is what I did. Okay. No, that was what I did last time. I'll give it another shot. I'm going to spend a point of luck. I haven't spent any luck this session. I got a 20, so better.
All right, so digging around, you find some records that Kozlov was keeping on the various members. Rasputin's been in control of smuggling and can find notes on different smuggling routes that he has. He's been expanding his territory into other cities, all to bring more power to himself, which has ultimately been giving more power to Victor as he's been expanding out of the city. But you do note he's dealing with some, a lot of shady people from around the world, and groups that you've seen in the news, terrorist groups and organizations like that. You also find a note that he believes a high-powered weapon was smuggled in through the El Ducado nomads by Bruce, but he couldn't confirm it. He just knows Bruce smuggled something in. You notice some stuff from Madame Mugi, the alliance with the Triple Threat, and that the Triple Threat has been picking off weaker gangs as per Victor's orders, and to expand in exchange for expanding their own territory and rising up through the powerhouse. And would note that he's got a little bit of blackmail on them to try and keep them in check, suggesting that he did have concerns about Madame Mugi and the Triple Threat trying to make a play on other people's territories. And judging from how he's kind of made notes and books, you get the impression he was trying to balance gang territories to prevent wars. You can see there is a lot of stuff and major concerns that he's made notes of from Ironclad and the Slaughterhouse, and how they've been dominating and trying to take over the drug market, and he makes notes on anticipating a war with the Voodoo Boys, who currently run the drug market, and money from underground fighting rings with the Slaughterhouse. You can see he's got notes on Uteo Mouse and her and his corporate dealings, and bringing the corporates into the city. But the other thing that you note is that Mouse has been trying to shift power away from the fixers and who run the streets of Night City to put corporates in charge of the street crime as well. And Victor and him have contentions, and he's actually, in his notes, made a note of, like, should I deal with this? There's Sonia. Who is bribery, corporate espionage type person that he's got notes on. And what he's been doing in those is using her to facilitate stealing things from different companies to keep the companies at war with each other and bickering with each other to maintain a power balance between them. You can find Luther the Shark. He runs illegal gambling, loan sharking, money laundering. He does a lot of business through him. There's a lot of records of financial exchanges. And Luther seems to run the entire underground's money laundering. They all kind of filter through him, giving him a big portion of the pie. But he has to pay taxes, basically, to Victor in order to make those business arrangements. And so Victor's been making a lot of money off of money laundering. And the other thing that you notice, looking in there, is that he's actually had his eye on Bruce for some time as a potential to move up, but she doesn't play by the rules and isn't paying the proper respects to the other fixers. And so he's had to continuously punish her and push her down as she goes outside of the wheelings and dealings. But he recently got communication from Bruce about King and lying about the King job and violating Victor's policy on human trafficking in that it was a no-go in Night City. And was coordinating, looking to hire Bruce to teach King a lesson.
Hey, Hex, do you have like a data like chip kind of thing? I think there's a lot of information on here you might like.
You're muted, Hex.
I don't think I have anything like that.
I have a data chip if you want.
You do?
Yeah.
Yes,
That's
please.
fortunate.
Yeah.
I guess I should start just carrying these around.
It's just a recording chip, right? Like, but you know.
Probably would work. I'll also take a quick look through the desk. Does he happen to have like any storage media that I could use?
Yeah, he's got various data chips and things in his desk.
I'll grab one of the data chips, make sure there's nothing on it, and then copy all that information just shared to me onto that and give it to Hex.
Okay.
Perfect.
And I'll make another copy of it on another empty chip and add it to Bard. Because he might also be interested in that information for different reasons.
Okay.
I'll slot the chip.
That's taking Ume a little bit.
That's and you probably don't get that until like after
after a
15 minutes of other stuff you're doing.
Oh no,
that's me. I'm now sold.
Yep. Nova, Reverend, Hex, Bard. What are you guys doing?
I'm gonna start pacing around the room a bit.
Well,
being asked to.
It seems to me like this whole place could be an active crime scene, which might be a wonderful reason why we could potentially maybe ask everybody to step out from downstairs. They want us to really get to the bottom of this murder.
Yeah, I can do that if you need me to.
I don't know about you guys. It seems I would rather we be able to have free reign of this apartment rather than
Agree.
Right. Okay.
be tiptoeing around gang of crime lords downstairs.
All right. I can handle that.
Have they all been in here?
I don't think any of them have.
Well, we
I
did
have
see
no idea
Rasputin
which
in the
ones have
window.
been and which ones haven't been.
Well, Bard, while you're running them off, you mind checking?
Running a little questioning.
When we drove up, we did see Rasputin in the window, right? In this window
No,
with a crack in it.
No, no.
you just saw the crack in the window.
Just the crack.
Do I see Frosty? Can I make a forensics check to see if there's any evidence of footprints here that are not belonging to the maid or Victor?
Or us?
Sure. I was going to say it's going to be really hard considering all of your guys' footprints.
I'm still gonna try.
I mean,
Worst
like,
that happens is I fail.
all right, like, I don't know how nitty gritty we have to get with all of this. Like, I don't know that we need to do the whole, like, fingerprints and shoe prints because we got the whole bullets and the whole.
That's
know,
true.
but
Okay, I'm just gonna go downstairs. Actually, I'm gonna use my
you should
reputation
definitely
to-
establish, though, like, maybe, like, who was where and saw what and that kind of thing.
Right. So I'll go downstairs with a cigarette in hand.
They all kind of look up. Ironclad's like, wait, you look fucking familiar. Holy shit! You're that damn pansy-ass do-gooder cop, ain't ya? Thanks for the cat.
I look at him. I hope she's disemboweling you.
Well,
Regardless.
she's been fighting off the competition.
I'm sure. Regardless, just so you all know, I'm sure some of you know my reputation. I'm good at finding things out. We all are. Having said
You were in the news recently, yes?
Having said that, this is an active crime scene. And the one thing I can say truthfully is that the murderer is in this room. Having said that, well, rather the person behind it. Having said that,
They all kind of
we're-
look at each other like they're like sizing each other up, ready to go to each other's throats. And
No,
Bruce is just
yeah.
grinning.
Sorry, I am trying to use my credibility here, but I'm going to be like, now, I'm aware that you are all excellent fixers. If you would leave this scene, the professionals of gathering information, I would appreciate it, because the longer you all are here, the more you pollute this place and make it harder to gather evidence. Now, if you all want to know who killed Victor Kozlov, I can tell you a couple of things. It was a crack shot. He was surprised by it and yet not fully taken aback. We have some leads to go off of. But if you all aren't going to trust us to find this, then you may as well just engage in a bloody turf war right now.
They all kind of look at each other, and Uteo's like, I believe the man has a point. Besides, once they are done, we can have the cleaner come and take care of the place. And clean up any evidence that's been, clean up anything that's been left behind. But
Is this a perfect comic moment for the saw to be heard in the distance?
Alexei says, the gentleman is correct. We are all tainting the evidence by being here. If we intend to allow them the investigation and to report to the council, as that is what you currently are, until anyone claims Victor's spot, then we should leave them to it. I assume you'll get the information to Bruce, and Bruce, you'll bring it to my attention so I may alert the council? Bruce says, precisely. My crew, they know what they're doing. You saw them handle the Night City Stalker. They outed King for his bullshit. They're capable. I trust them. You can trust them. They're going to get to the bottom of this.
You can trust me on that. You can trust all of us.
They all kind of nod. And Alexei says, very well. The place is yours, Bruce. and inform me, and I'll gather the council at the next word. In the meantime, I suggest we all head out for drinks. And they all kind of cuss and size each other up, slowly head out the main door.
I'm gonna grab one of the nice bottles of whiskey from the table and pocket it, and then grab another bottle and pour one out for myself.
Oh, okay.
Just a little larceny while you're at it.
Bruce goes to what was obviously like Kozlov's big chair and sits down and puts her feet up.
I look to her. You know, I appreciate your ambition, but, well,
You don't understand what this is really about. You think it's all power grab, just out for whoever's on top. You think you know me. You think this is all some big scheme to put myself in the big chair. Tell you this, you ain't entirely wrong, but you ain't got the full picture.
then tell me.
Oh, like you'd understand the way these streets work.
I understand more than you think, and I'm asking for an honest answer. You've always been a straight shooter. Why don't you tell me?
All right. You see, the people running this place are monsters. Victor may have run the place with mercy and taken care of things and kept people in line. But you've been seeing the slaughterhouse expanding, watching the triple threat kill each other, the voodoo boys, the street gangs, the whole town and city fucking going to hell. Hey, who do you think allows people like fucking Adrian King to do what they did to that woman? You think I want to live in a place where that could happen to any of my crew? You think I like the fact? You think this is the kind of city where you can fuck over Rasputin or botch a job or have a bad day and just be left to walk away? Do you know how many bodies they've built their kingdom on? The kind of things that they've done to people here? No, you see, this city needs to change. It needs real people in charge. It needs the right people in charge. It needs people with a little bit of a sense of honor and dignity and integrity.
And you think you're the right people?
You got that right, kid.
Well, I would have been more willing to buy that if you hadn't just tried to deceive us into
It's the way the
being
game's
tied
played.
into your plan. And
And
yet, you talk about people having honor, and you talk about them having no honor, and yet you just said it's the way the game is played. You're playing their game.
For now.
And what makes you different from them? I'm asking honestly. If you can tell me what, then I'll be on your side. But for now, all I see, and again, you probably looked me up. You know what I think. This whole city is full of assholes trying to supplant other assholes.
Things ain't gonna change overnight, kid.
I don't think anything's going to change. Having said that, what do you have to show that you're better than them?
Just look at my record. Look what I've done for all of you. Treated you well, respectfully, honored you, paid you well. You know how anyone hasn't turned against me, and those that do disappear? I play an honorable game. I keep things straight. And unlike them, I've been under the heel of people like them. I know what they do to people. What the companies do to people.
What'd they do to you?
It's ancient history. Don't matter anymore.
Kind of does.
I'll tell you if you ever earn it.
Can I make a human perception check or an awareness check to try and Sherlock a bit out of her? I know it's going to be a very hard DC, but I would like to try.
Sure.
Which one?
Be human perception.
All right, I'm gonna spend 5 luck on this. 28.
28. So from what you can tell, she really hates the people currently running the city. Like, major beef. It's personal to her.
Mm-hmm.
And seems to think that to blame all of them, Victor included, for something. Whatever it is, you do notice the tiniest bit of tears in her eyes when she talks about how she knows, what they put people through. It doesn't actually form into tear, but you can see just that slight watering of the eyes, but she's far too gone for it to kind of crack through. There's too much anger and rage behind it. But looking at it, the other thing that you notice is she's kind of always tonguing and licking her lips and mouth like someone. She plays it off to look crazy, but there's a discomfort to her teeth. Like they're not. And her body language, she always poses herself in a position of power and putting other people underneath her and keeping herself at the top as if but you've noticed that there is care in it. Like when you saw her with her people, like she wasn't cruel or heartless. It was fetishized power, power exchanges, consensual, and that's how she looks at power, but sees herself as being the position, kind of a false. How people will put on false fronts, smile through the situations and everything like that. Smile. It confuses the hell out of your enemies. No one can tell what you're
Alistair,
thinking.
right.
That kind of thing.
I'll
And it's a very practiced, controlled smile that you're kind of reading on her and that she's always got.
I'll
But the
hand
other
her
thing is that she legitimately looks like she is ready to kill you just for even asking or trying to pry. Like, whatever this is, whatever she's hinting at, is something that's just so far buried that that she doesn't. That she would rather kill anyone that knew about it.
I'll raise my hands.
And you do get the impression that if you knew about it, she would kill you just to keep it secret.
Okay, I'll raise my hands and just... No offense meant. Here. And I'll hand her a handkerchief.
What the fuck is this? She stands up.
For that.
You think I'm crying? What the fuck is wrong with you? You think I'm gonna sit here and whine like some little baby? You gonna sit there and cry about it? You think I've got all these feelings to hurt, that I'm just like one of those street rats, just like you, whining over your lost girl? Crying and screaming in the night?
I certainly hope so.
As she's getting really face, and you actually hear the shink of metal as her rippers extend from her fingers, and she is fighting to hold back not to kill you. If I didn't fucking need you. Tosses the handkerchief at you and storms into the kitchen grabbing a drink.
I'll grab a drink and walk back
You guys
upstairs.
all upstairs could hear her shouting.
I just look at Rev and then just sort of minding our own business.
Ume's at the computer, typing away, looks up, looks down, shakes her head. Like, goddamn idiot.
Can we hear actual words or just yelling?
Yeah. You heard what she said.
Reverend's just shaking his head a little.
I say that fully well knowing that Bart is not being stupid pushing it. He was clearly trying to push her buttons.
Yeah.
Ume does not have that sophisticated appreciation
Hex,
for
what are
Bart's
you
doing.
doing?
You're muted.
You're muted.
I was listening to all that transpire.
So just standing on the ledge of the balcony.
Just cupping your ear, listening.
Pretty much.
All right, Reverend, what are you doing? As you
So, back to what everyone wants to know. What's in this guy's head?
what's in the box?
What's in the skull?
What's it?
All right, so
gotta do
as
the
you
Brad
crack
Pitt
it open, make a
roll.
cyber tech check, or no, a med tech check.
Can I assist?
Probably
You don't
not
have
for
medical
medtech.
tech.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm looking for cyber tech, right?
Sure, you can make a cyber tech check to assist the cyber tech. First, this is medical tech to get to it.
Yep. So I'll spend
okay.
1 luck.
Oh,
I
good
did
thing you
it.
spent the luck.
Yeah. That's a 18.
Okay. So you do a pretty decent surgery, cutting open and getting into the cybernet, and you can see the various neural processors and stuff.
It's not like
it's
there
not
was
great
distraction.
work. Yeah, but good enough for county work.
In his mind, Reverend's making a note. Tell people to stop fucking bothering him and walking around his operating
And
area.
then make a
Oh,
cyber
sure,
tech
and it
check.
had nothing to do with us, not taking it to a
You're in the middle of the place where we're trying to do our shit. So
But there's a bedroom on the other
the
side.
computer's not in the bedroom, jackass.
Well, Ume didn't talk much during that.
No, Ume didn't say that. That was David just playing off of what you said.
Oh, I
While they're
know.
all being creepy with the body, I'm gonna look in other areas where we haven't looked for things, see if there's anything amiss.
Okay.
All right, and time for the cyber tech, you said?
Yeah.
Hold on, wait a second. I want to make a quick
And
roll.
Nova was going to assist you, so Nova, make your cyber tech first.
Frosty, can I make a roll to see how well Ume does with this
Resist
horribly
torture
cosmetic-
drugs as you hear the
All right.
skull crack off.
I
God,
think that sounds
this
fair.
is why I'm looking elsewhere.
Oh, Ume got a 16.
So it's like a.
Yeah,
Okay.
but
Okay,
that's a
I'm on the
success though,
computer.
right?
I'm on the computer.
I'm paying attention. Okay,
Re-
I'll mark that as a
Reverend-
success.
Yep.
Reverend pulls out a little hammer, starts tapping the cut.
You could audibly hear Ume swallowing the vomit that was about to come up, but she does not vomit.
Yeah.
To her credit.
Nova, make your cyber tech.
Okay, I'm gonna spend 1 luck on it.
Okay.
Just because I don't want to fumble on things I'm supposed to be good at.
Those
but
are
I
the
got a
best kinds of
25.
fumbles.
Oh wow!
What'd you roll?
I got a 25 though.
Why,
Okay.
why am I not assisting you?
And that's while not
So that will
exploding. By the
give
way,
a +3 to Reverend. Cyber
All right.
tech.
All right, there you go.
Oh, that's cyber design. I will spend 1 luck on this, though. So
Okay.
make that 4. 20.
20. So what you find is he does have cybernetic eyes. He's got a neural processor. He's got various vehicle data term links hooked up to his neural processor. He does have an internal data recorder linked up to his chipware socket,
Okay.
as well as audio ports to record audio. And other than that, he's got a pain editor.
Mm-hmm.
At least in his head, and kind of looking at the rest of his cyberware, he's not very cybered up. Most of it's stuff to observe, like have extended observation, greater sense of sight, greater sense of hearing, greater sense of sound. But there is a data recorder, so he can store that data and download it into chips that he has with him.
Like the one I pulled out?
Yeah. And you can actually see some of the damage done to his brain from the Kurari.
That was more of a nerve poison, or did I forget something?
It does affect the nerves, but it also causes vascular damage and it can cross the blood-brain barrier and damage it.
Okay.
It's a very, very nasty poison.
Well,
Bruce needs an antidote. That was not good. Licking that blood. That was so bad. That was so bad.
yeah.
Like, that's really bad.
Well,
Well,
with how
Rev?
much she's playing us, she probably has one. Yeah, Nova.
Well, Rev, you think these chips have got something on it? I don't know if this
Oh.
is enough for like a brain dance or anything like that, but it could be something.
I have to make a reference, by the way. I spent the last few years developing an immunity to Karafi. You know, like my bad. Okay, I'll shut up.
You think that?
You have anything you could hook up and check his system and read this chip? And there's a cat.
Do we think that there's like a do I don't have like anything like that on me. I have my laptop back at my shop, but I didn't bring it with me.
Yeah.
I'll just tell him I think we could just bring these with us, and there's something back at my house that my shop that I can look at it and see, or maybe Ume can put it in that computer over there, but we should at least take it with us.
So, just to check, would I know ripping out this dude's cyberware in his head?
Oh my god, I knew you were gonna do that. I knew it.
How else are we gonna read what's on his like hard drive without his body being there?
I know.
You'd need a cooler.
Still, you're a grisly motherfucker.
Or something to hold the brain.
We just take his.
You could take it and hook all this stuff up to a computer.
But we could. I mean, we just take the data chips. We don't have to take the whole body, right?
Well, not everything may be on the data chip.
It could still be stuck in the data recorder.
It's like having hard drive, solid state drive.
If I remember right, data recorders only have like a really small amount of memory because you have to get a data chip to get up to 2 hours.
Yeah. They normally can hold like 10 minutes.
Yeah, something like that.
But we don't have to take the whole body. We could just take the recorder.
As you look over, Reverend already has like a bigger bone saw at the neck.
All right, so Reverend is harvesting body parts.
Oh, not yet. Because he needs to find a cooler with ice.
Okay.
Oh God.
There's a big freezer here, I think.
Well, I can't just bring the freezer with me, Bart.
Well, Rev, I think maybe we should think about this. I don't know if we should go around carrying the head of Victor Kozlov around with us.
Ume is just trying to ignore the conversation and continue typing at the computer.
Reverend sort of just shrugs. Nova, we gotta do something. We're all neck deep in shit with Bruce because of this.
Wait, were you about to cut off his head and you just made a joke about being neck deep?
Sort of looks off. I guess I did.
That was funny. I liked it. Thanks.
Hex, maybe we should just confirm. How do you feel
Hex
about?
is not in the room.
Oh crap!
And with that,
I think we were both downstairs,
Hex,
right? Like,
please make awareness notice as you were looking around the rest of the place.
You're muted, I think. Still can't hear you.
Okay, sorry. A 19.
Okay, so kind of on just initial instinct of like, why was the bedroom door open? You go and you look in the bedroom, and you find the bed is unmade. Like someone just tossed the sheets open. The phone charger cord is laying on the floor off by the desk, like it was quickly unplugged. And kind of looking around, you notice the curtains are closed. Except for a small bit that's open to let some wind in. And kind of, and looking at Kozlov's demeanor and where he was at and kind of looking around, what you're able to piece and looking around the rest of the apartment, you find there's nothing really out of the ordinary. Looks like the maid was in the process of cleaning up cleaning up dinner when everything happened. Or like doing the dishes, that kind of stuff. Just Amelia was helping, doing her job. Victor was likely in bed and got a call and went to the office.
Okay.
The other thing that strikes you as odd is that he was facing the window when he was shot.
Yeah, I can't.
And
comment.
standing pretty close to it.
So, like, it was set up.
That's yeah.
Yeah, that's what Andrew's thinking.
That's what David was thinking. Somebody,
Yeah.
this you have an informant, small time informant, calls him up out of the blue,
The window,
late at
yeah.
night, has him get to the window, perfect to set him up to. So
His-
to figure out who shot him,
His cyber eyes were already zoomed in.
Hmm.
Well, also, I think, did we get any information back on the phone call, too?
that's the informant guy.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Lucky
gotcha.
Eddie.
We
Yeah.
tracked it. Yeah, the Lucky Eddie guy.
Lucky
so
Eddie, that's
so we
right.
know we have a lead on who called him to set him up. So somebody hired Lucky Eddie, a well-known informant, to call him up and get him to go to the window.
I wonder who might have fixed that up.
Well, it's not going to be Bruce.
God,
It's going to be whoever Bruce hired. And I'm pretty sure Bruce hired them without telling him who the shoot. I'm not. This is all we're talking out of character here. So
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say, Hex, do you think you would call up Lucky Eddie and use your wiles to organize a meeting?
Mhm.
Where's that
Uh,
Miles?
I know, right? I was like,
It's Bard. He uses strange words.
Okay, I'm sorry. Use your fixer skills.
my
Yeah, I think
charms.
Wiles. I think of like feminine Wiles.
Yeah,
Very-
like seduction. Charms
Yeah.
is more like my speed, which is kind
Okay,
of
clearly you do have
can
wiles.
be artificial.
No, you have all the wiles, right? Like
all
the
of them.
wiles.
All the Wiles.
all the while you've had wiles. But while you have those wiles, we're trying to solve a murder. And while we're talking, perhaps you should use your capacity to deal on the street to get Lucky Eddie to help us. While. Sorry, I had to say it one more time.
Of course you did.
Wiles.
I think that it might be, though, in our best interest to perhaps contact Lucky Eddie while we're not in current present company.
Oh, right. Maybe we should get out of here, but we need to take Amelia with us.
Yeah, that was one of the reasons why I wanted all the fucking fixers out of here.
Yes. Is Amelia?
Yeah.
Amelia's still here, right, Frosty?
Yeah.
Okay, actually, I'm gonna.
And it's Bruce who can potentially help her disappear, but she wants us to stitch up that one guy.
Yeah. I was also gonna try to call Laura to see if he could help her, but beyond that,
Sounds like Lore
So-
needs a bit of help himself.
no, he does. But Amelia, we're about to leave.
Yes, monsieur.
No, we're not.
I have space in my office if you need a place to lay low for a bit.
Bruce
We
got
will
sent
try.
in. Oh no, don't worry about it. I got her covered. I'll make sure to take care of her. That was our
Oh,
agreement.
okay. Excellent.
Oh, not Bard trying to bring home another stray.
Hey, one cat got taken. He needs to replace.
Hey, not yet. Oh, wait, which cat? What cat are you talking about? Whose cat?
My cat.
You know,
Is he
cat,
still
cat.
talking about his cat out there?
I'm talking
Tell
about
him to shut
cat.
up about the damn cat.
Well, at least we know the cat's still alive.
Yeah, that is good.
Ume looks around and says, "Sure, I care about his cat."
Bro, Reverend
back
put
to
down
your
the
theater.
saw before he cut off the head, and he's running downstairs yelling, "Bard, find me a box, a big one."
Can I look around for a box?
And when I get down there, I want to help him.
There's
I
like
do find
cigar
it
cases. What was that, Hex?
I do find it interesting that someone who was as financially capable as Victor Kozlov didn't experience like a head trauma here. Now I know there was like brain damage, but they wouldn't have known that, and like his maid didn't trip his trauma team card. Like, if his head was still intact, wouldn't she have tried to potentially get him?
She said he was dead when she got there.
Yeah, but you can be dead for a little bit before you're like finito, and she wouldn't have known that his noodle was scrambled.
Are you saying this out loud?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm gonna look to Amelia and
In character,
I'm gonna.
fully.
Yeah.
Can I try and use my interrogation skill for the first time, Frosty, to be like, are you sure you did everything you could to save him?
Sure. Make an interrogation.
Reverend just in the background scavenging for a big box.
I'll use my last luck here.
I just find it peculiar. that
25.
Oh yeah, definitely.
more measures weren't taken.
She tries to say that she didn't know and that he was dead.
But I get that she's lying.
You're able to draw out that she's lying.
Okay.
And eventually she breaks down crying, saying,
You abused her.
no, that basically she was bought and sold. Like she bought from France and human trafficked over and had nowhere else to go. And with him dead, she'd be
Wait.
free.
The
Wait,
very
the
same guy who was
bans
like, no
human trafficking?
human
Yeah,
trafficking
Yeah.
in the email
Yeah.
chase.
in city. Oh, it's
wow.
perfect.
So-
It's like all the preacher. It's like,
And so,
yeah.
and so you let him die because it would free you.
Oui, monsieur.
I can't blame you for that.
Yeah.
Bruce, can you blame her for that?
I don't think I can. What a terrible mistake. It must have slipped her mind that Trauma Team was even a thing. Ain't that
Yeah,
right?
exactly. It's so. I mean, she's French. She couldn't be expected to know. In Europe, they have different rules, right? She's clearly innocent here.
Reverend stands up getting frustrated. All right, get out. She's innocent, whatever. Look, do you know where a box is? Like, yay big, yay wide?
A box. All I wanted is a
Bard is
box.
gonna bring out the freezer, like the whole freezer drawer.
Make
Like,
a strength feat check as you try and
Bard?
drag the refrigerator out.
No, this guy's got to have like a fucking cooler or something like that. Like a chest.
I think Ume,
23.
Ice chest.
So he's pushing, rips the refrigerator out and starts pushing it across.
Oh my god, what
floor.
are you doing? Bart?
I like to imagine like you see this scene of Reverend putting this head in a box.
No, I
with
haven't yet.
well, no, like I want this scene to happen where you're putting the head in a box with like Bard and Hex looking over in disgust, and this is when Ume shows up with the 2 data chips.
Oh, there's
like
more
to
to
give
it
them-
too. But Reverend needs the box to get started for what
no.
he has planned.
I hand you the box. It's the whole freezer, actually.
We can't
I gotta say
carry
it
this
again.
through the
What's in
city.
the box? Especially because you're putting a head in it now.
But
You just
a head in a
looking
box.
around, there's a decent sized like cigar case. There's
All right, Frosty,
shit,
cigar
a
cases
wide
tend
shipping
to be
box,
like small.
Takeout. You'd be able to find like a nice box with like some ties the store ties in that you can just dump out.
Yeah, all these boxes are small. They're not gonna fit a head.
No,
Is
I'm
there
talking
something
about
like-
one that would go into like a storage unit in a dresser, like to
Oh,
hold
okay.
a large amount. Like,
Gotcha.
yeah.
So once Reverend gets this box, he's gonna just break the fridge doors open, look for anything that's iced, like meat,
Yeah.
vegetables and stuff, fill it in here. He's being an
It is
opportunist
fresh
here.
food. Yeah, it is
Yeah.
fresh food.
He's
There's-
filling it up, putting ice in there, and he's gonna run upstairs and start sawing at the neck.
This is when Ume leaves with the chips, trying to get
just,
out of
nope,
there.
Nope.
No, I'm
Oh.
dead. I got the dead
And-
I need.
And just to be safe, after he gets the head, he's gonna take the hand.
The hand?
Yeah.
Okay.
You never know when you need fingerprints.
Fair point.
And he's gonna put it all in his little ice box.
We're not going to my place with this stuff.
Well, we're going to your workshop with it. We need you to scan
Shit.
stuff.
Sorry, so just so you guys know, I do have a fridge in my apartment, and some body parts may be in there.
You also have a weird proximity, the NCPD. A weird proximity named Rachel.
Look,
Well, I've been
I
trying
agree
to
that
break
we
up
should
with
not
her.
bring the body parts of the recently killed person to a place that cops might show up at.
look.
I am 100% behind that
Skipping-
conclusion.
Hey, listen. Rachel knows me, okay? Again, I do need to break off that relationship because we're bad for each other.
I
but
don't know about that. So far, she's gotten you out of jail how many times?
doesn't mean we're good for each other.
Look,
Having said that,
Seems like
I
she's
was-
pretty damn good for you, considering the amount of times you end up in jail or close to it.
well, but hey, the point I was trying to make is that she's looked in my fridge enough times trying to find booze that she's seen the body parts, right? It's not going to phase her.
Wait, this is not the first time you've housed body parts in your fridge at home?
How else am I going to conduct investigations?
By
Usually
working
without
with
bringing body
police.
parts at home. I think most private dicks don't
Whatever
have
you're
body
going to
parts
do
in
with
their
the
home.
fucking body parts.
Wait, hold on. Do not tell me that's where the word private dick comes from.
No, I don't have any
Just to
genitalia
take in
in
a
my
box.
fridge.
Isn't there
but-
a
Okay,
song
just
like
making
that?
sure.
look, all of you. Forgetting Bard's flings aside, we're not
Well-
putting the body parts in his
Well-
fridge.
Okay, are we talking
We're
about
going
the
to the
private
workshop.
dicks he puts in his fridge, or
Look, that's a subject for another time, okay? I will neither confirm nor deny what's in his fridge.
don't worry, Bard. I don't actually think you have frozen dicks in your fridge. I'm just teasing you.
Yeah, do we want to know what's in your
As
fridge?
Ume says very loudly in front of everybody else.
Ume, do we want to know what's in your fridge?
Nothing.
I don't think
I
we
don't
have
have a fridge.
Nothing.
But if I did, I guarantee you
Ice.
would have a frozen
She has
dildo.
ice.
Don't ask me why it's frozen. It's to give a shock to the system.
Y'all are all a pain in my ass.
Thank you. I try very hard.
Is there anything else we need from here?
I'm good. I think I've done everything I can. I think I've done all I can.
Actually, the
Good or
maid's still
ill?
around. Reverend's gonna go find the maid again. Just point at her. Drugs. Where does he keep them?
What
Oh.
drugs?
What'd you say?
What drugs?
You don't go this high, be this fucked up, and not have drugs.
He never
And
did drugs. He only drink. Drink a lot.
You could pickle it. Isn't that how pickling works?
Could-
I don't really know.
just to be sure, could I make a human perception?
Yeah.
16?
As far as she's aware, he didn't do drugs.
Okay. I believe I already made a human perception.
So,
All
This
right.
is probably going to be the last chance that we have at being in Kozlov's apartment without.
Can I?
I-
Yeah. Before
yeah,
we
I-
go,
I don't
I
have
would
any
like to go
thoughts.
to the bedroom and see if I can see anything no one else is seeing.
Okay, make an awareness notice.
I was gonna fill you in.
No. I know. I assume.
Bard doesn't trust Hex.
No,
I
he's
know,
using
like that could have been a whole scene.
Yeah.
he's using detective vision.
He's
Yeah,
Batman.
I'm trying to use
Heck.
my UV and shit. So
He basically is.
I am Batman. I am the creature in the night.
Who's the voice actor does in the animated series?
Oh,
Which
he
one?
recently passed away, didn't he?
He did, actually, yeah. Well, I was about to say Michael Keaton, because obviously he's the
25.
one that's famous for that, but Nick's voice is closer to the Batman in the animated series.
The bed is unmade. The window, there's a small part of the window that's open. The curtains are drawn closed. Same thing I told Hex.
Okay. Just making sure. I assumed Hex would have told me everything. I just
She did not.
wanted to. Okay, well, that's
I
my fault.
was gonna do it in a scene, but
My fault.
Yeah, Hex searched the house and said you just go up and search the room. Yeah. Come back. Like. Hex, do you say anything as Bard seems to be going back over your work like he doesn't trust it?
Well, now you're putting words out there.
Yeah, you kind of are. Like I
well, I
Just
mean,
took a
like I
look.
was gonna
I'll look at Hex
talk
and
to you when it was, I told you I didn't want to talk to you in present company.
oh, okay, sorry. I'll look around. Hex, why don't you join me in the
Same case applies until we get the fuck out of here, Bard.
Okay, so let's get the fuck out of here.
Hopefully you guys can track down the shooter and we can take care of him.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Why don't we get the fuck over to my office?
No, we're going to the workshop.
I think the workshop is most advisable. That's where we have the equipment to do what we need to with our new acquirement.
Works for me.
Before we leave, Rev is going to do what I do every morning. Check, like, phone, wallet, head, hand. Make sure he has everything.
Sev, are you always checking to make sure you have your severed head with you when you leave the house in the morning? Hey, you can't shit that down. It's on the internet. It's
By
been
the way-
recorded.
As soon as you find the shooter, I'll pay you guys, not each, but I'll pay you guys 50 grand.
Nah, I heard each.
Reference like too late.
No
No
takesies,
take-backs.
backsies.
No take backs.
That was GM misspeak.
GM misspeak is NPC misspeak.
Don't do that. Then Frosty will hold us to that same level.
Yeah.
We can't live with that. I can't live with that.
I know.
The number of mistakes I make,
Hey, Bruce.
it
said
will not fly. It will not fly.
Look, I just
but
You
as
had
we're
to
leaving,
try.
though, I do have to ask because, like, at Bard smoking a cigarette looks at Hex. So you investigated the bedroom too. Now, I know I can pick out physical details, but I'm also acutely aware that I still have no idea who the fuck any of those people were. So apparently, I'm not really good at knowing the street. Did you pick up anything from looking at that?
You should probably keep your mouth shut until we leave here. Before you keep talking.
He looks at you, looks at his cigarette, puts the cigarette out on his wrist, and just
Since you can't seem to trust me or my work, let's get out of here.
The
I
limo's
do-
waiting for you. It'll take you guys all wherever you want to go.
I do.
Don't worry,
trust you.
I'll lock up.
I do trust you. As we're like walking
I
out,
assume that I overheard them saying they were going to clean this apartment.
Mhm.
yeah.
That's good. And Reverend, you have the bullet.
Yep. And the head.
Yeah,
And the
when
hand.
we're in the limo. Like, who's gonna clean up the workshop from the head and the hand that we have?
Well, hopefully we won't
So-
be.
So
are you just going to like dump it in a
Are you guys
dumpster
all
somewhere
getting
when you
back in the
die?
limo? And,
Uh,
Well, this is. I'm sorry. I'm speaking after we get in the limo. I did say that.
before he gets in the limo, Reverend's gonna stop, think about something, hand the box to Nova, and run back to the office and just rip the hard drive out of the computer.
okay.
And then he's gonna run back. Okay, I'm ready.
Yep. All right. We got all the hard drives we need. Tapping the
Hey.
box Nova's holding.
Hey, you never know. We have Ume's copies and we have the actual hard drive.
I think the hard drive was probably destroyed when you ripped it out.
Well,
Or ruined. Or...
at least there's that.
We'll head back.
All right. So you guys tell the limo to take you to
Nova's
Tech World?
workshop.
Nova's workshop. Okay. So you guys fly back to Tech World. You guys have a little bit of time amongst yourselves as the limo drops you off and you guys head into the shop.
So,
We're no
Hex, what
longer
do you make
with.
of all this?
We're no
think
longer with.
After you
Bruce,
guys all
right?
get out, the limo flies off.
Yeah.
Hey, Barn, I think now you can talk to.
No,
Hex.
let's
that's
get in
what
the
I was
shop.
gonna say. Is like as we get in the shop, I like as soon as the door closes, I look at Hex. So my curiosity is getting the better of me, but you said to not talk before, so I did the whole. But now I need to know, like, what do you make of all of this? Because again, I clearly can deduce physical things, but who the fuck were those people again?
Basically, every kingpin in Night City. I'm pretty sure each one of them's got their name marked on a bullet that Nova made, intended to be fired by a gun named Bruce. So, like,
if part of the plan is for us to identify this person and Bruce is going to do something with it, that might be true. But I'd be curious once this shooter's identified if he has the rest of the bullets. Because right now,
more than likely, Bruce is smart enough to not hire the same hitman for each job.
that's kind of what I'm wondering. Because like it would not seem probable to me that the same hitman is currently out there killing off the other rivals with the same bullets.
Well, I wasn't implying that the hitman had all the same bullets. I was implying that there are 4 more outstanding
Yes.
bullets that Nova has made with the kingpins, because he asked me who the kingpins were.
Hey, Nova, you weren't asked to write like people's names on it for some ironic joke.
I
later
know,
on.
I was just using alliteration.
Yeah.
And I was just making a joke,
Oh,
like a bullet with your name on it.
well, yeah, that was the deal.
You
I was
know,
gonna- I was setting up for.
I've thought about
I'm
that
sorry,
before.
it was
'cause
not
they
very
say-
clever.
They do say that somewhere out there there's a bullet with your name on it. So
Yeah, okay.
I did once think about inscribing my own name into a bullet just in case. Because then I
Well,
could keep it
okay,
and never
whatever.
be
The
hit by
names
it.
are metaphorical, and the bullets are real, and they were made by
I
Nova.
know,
which
I
is
I'm
the
was-
bigger
sorry.
problem.
I'm sorry. It was a
And
bad
I was
joke.
specifically asked not to put my name on any bullets.
Exactly, but I am afraid
Wait, you were
that...
specifically asked that? Like they gave
Yeah.
you the bullet and said,
Yeah,
whatever you
because she
do,
was-
Nova, don't write your name on this bullet.
because she
That was-
established she was going to, and we all discouraged her
Oh,
not
that's
to because
right.
I was
You wanted to
afraid
add
that
a
this was going to be
signature.
used in a stitch-up job. So, yeah, foresight.
You were right about that, yeah.
Yeah.
You were quite right about that.
I am suspicious of everything.
It's paid off. It's paid off.
You're
So
Really
right.
Hex,
not
make a streetwise check.
All right.
Clearly not enough. That's why Reverend had to collect everything.
Well, I never said I was great at like collecting evidence.
Or cutting off body parts.
Yeah.
Or
I'm-
doing
I'm-
whatever the fuck I did.
I got a 22.
So what
Playing
you would know,
Minesweeper.
This
Is
is the
that-
third
Best
22
at
I've rolled
Minesweeper.
tonight.
if Bruce was aiming to go to the top, if that's her goal, she could not accomplish that by just killing off 5 of the head honchos. That would just leave chaos.
Right.
Everyone vying for power.
Power vacuum.
Right. If she's trying to climb to the top, she's got to have a bigger game plan.
Incremental.
Killed the president.
Or even
That's not incremental. That's like,
or even
well, she did
so-
just kill the head honcho. She's
but
creating
again,
chaos.
she could sow suspicion amongst the rest of the head honchos, so they bring each other
But-
down.
Like what's going on now.
Well, you know what I
Exactly.
said earlier about maybe somebody else using this evidence to frame Bruce? Obviously, Bruce has us dependent on this shark guy. So I was
by the way,
wrong and
I'm
right
never
though.
comfortable fabricating evidence, but if it keeps us all alive, I do owe all of you that. I can compromise my principles a bit, but
Hey Bard, if at some point, if it helps, I'm totally okay with getting the truth out there eventually. Like we're kind of screwed
Where's
over.
the
We can't
maid?
do
Did
that.
she go with Bruce?
Yeah,
Okay.
she stayed with Bruce.
But like, if at some point you want to get the truth out there, you keep these notes. For what it's worth, you got my backing on that. It's just
I mean,
you
I
just
always
can't do it now.
I always keep notes. I was just saying, like, I wasn't even talking about the truth. I was just saying that, if you all need me to, once we find more evidence, to lie and frame the shark, to keep all of you alive, I'll do that. But
Well, I
But
suspect.
the bigger point here is that we're doing it at the behest
Well,
of one such Bruce. And that you happen to be a PI who builds what's that? Oh, cases against people.
well,
There's
Yeah.
more than one way to skin a shark.
well, I will also say that like we had to push Bruce to tell us what was going on, which means probably it was intended that we would find evidence that would point at Shark anyway.
I did also have my digital recorder going.
But
You
what
did
I'm
not say
saying
you
is
were
if we
using
play
it.
the if we're playing
I
the long
did,
game,
but
then
I
we
guess
might
I'm
be able to
confused.
establish that all of these machinations are the doing of
Yeah, we can
one
build that. We can build that
such
case.
cyber psycho.
Hey, look,
One that happens to have our balls in a vice a little bit.
right, and I'd love to get them out of that. I do think Hex would be a greater kingpin than Bruce when it comes right down to it. So why don't we try and play the long game here and gather some evidence?
I mean, it sucks. I understand to fabricate evidence against one individual, though. Really, to get rid of them all, we have to start somewhere. They've all got to go down eventually,
Yeah.
regardless. And like I said, this is all at the behest of one particular individual. We can be building a bit of a
Let's deal with what's in front of us now.
Right. Okay, but for future reference, I'm going to establish this because I said it, but I think it was muted. I'm going to activate my digital recorder whenever I'm talking to Bruce from now on, just in case. But yeah, we can certainly do that. It'll take some time.
Yeah, no, I know.
Just so you know, your digital recorder, I believe, only holds 10 minutes of footage.
2 hours. It's audio, not visual.
Not visual.
Mm-hmm. And again, if it this is the nice thing, right? It is a cigarette sized pocket, but it's if I don't get anything, I can delete it, right? It's sort of the yeah. I can download it to a chip if it's usable, but
There's actually like with video recording, I think there is a thing you can get that does 2 hours of video recording.
Yeah, but I don't have the video. I only have the
Right,
audio.
but you have the audio, which still
Yeah,
allows
it's
for
like
2
the
hours.
old school one, right? That just hold it in your hand.
But what
Yeah.
I'm saying is I think
Oh,
for now
you're
we
just
play
talking
the
about like a
game.
little handheld tape recorder?
No, it's I have a splice in my head.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Your
So,
phone splice won't allow you to record.
No. There's a digital recorder. That's what I meant. Sorry. It's the Sorry.
The digital recorder, I think,
We'll talk about
specifies
it after.
between video and audio. Yeah. Why don't we go ahead and take a look and figure out what we can learn from
It's
this?
it's the digital recording link.
We'll talk about it after game, is what I said.
We just play the game for now. Like, this is in character. We play the game for now.
Swim with the sharks, hope not to get bit.
Why don't we, and by we I mean you, because I could maybe try to help. But the point is, why don't the two of you look at the cyber gear that you got in the severed head you're keeping in that box? Which is a statement I never thought I'd say, but there we are.
You're welcome.
And thank you. And Hex, do you want to look in that Lucky Eddie guy? Maybe see.
Exactly.
Clearly,
well,
you
actually don't know about that yet.
Oh, I thought you said. I'm sorry.
Ume knows Lucky, the Lucky Eddie. She told you guys the name Lucky Eddie. Just doesn't know
she's
who
the
it
one.
is.
I found it in the Rolodex.
I didn't say. Okay.
Well, I
Ume
found
the name
it.
in the Rolodex. Told you guys the name. Hex, you know who Eddie is.
I pointedly asked you if you knew who he was.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's
that
how
was
it came
Andrew.
up.
I don't know why.
Yeah, because I found it in the Rolodex. I said, "Hey Hex, do you know this name?" And then you did a streetwise roll.
Yeah. Gotcha.
I'm assuming you answered me. Maybe you didn't.
Yeah, no, I would have. I'm sorry. I don't know why I
All
literally
good.
It's been a busy night. It happens. No worries.
Yeah. So maybe Hex, if you want to look into the Lucky Eddie guy, and I'll stand here and look pretty. Maybe practice some guitar. I don't have my guitar. Well, I
suspect
guess I'll stand.
Eddie's a little bit more involved than we realized.
I am fairly certain somebody paid him off to get that guy to the window.
That's the part you wouldn't know.
I
don't think.
All right. Well, then I won't say that. It's
that
tricky.
would be the part I know. I haven't told anybody and or double checked my work because he doesn't trust me.
All right. Well, I'll just mention Lucky Eddie thing. I'm sorry. It's tricky to keep track of what we know in character and out of character.
Yeah, I know.
Been locked back and forth.
But yeah, no, I would look into. But I was trying to point out that I think that he is more involved than we realize, because you don't.
That's you leading into that. I got you.
Yeah, that was the segue.
Really, Hex? How so?
Yes. Which was.
Yeah. What do you mean?
Your Reverend was busy sawing off his head. I decided to poke around a little bit more in the apartment.
No, I'm poking around his head.
It's pretty evident that he got out of bed in a real hurry. His charger was pulled out of the wall, and the sheets were all torn aside. And it struck me as a bit odd that he got a phone call. Got him out of bed. Just seemed to.
You got that he got out of bed in a hurry because his bed wasn't made?
Yeah, the same that you got.
No. I actually didn't get that. That's brilliant. Because I never make my bed, so I would never have thought that.
I'm not surprised.
His room was torn apart. It was pretty obvious.
I will point out that my bed's currently an air mattress, so I can't really
as Bard looks, his room was like torn apart and messy. That's the standard for me. That's why I was saying it. Good on you that you noticed that, because I wouldn't have.
He has a maid.
But she
a maid
had
that you
sex
talked
with him,
to.
So maybe they tore the bedroom apart together. What do I know?
Okay, then what do I know? Maybe he wasn't lured out of bed.
Okay, you two, stop bickering. I need to head to probe.
No. I'm sorry. But before you said, I was going to say, I was impressed that you deduced he was lured out of bed. I would never have gotten that. That's what I was saying. I was trying to compliment you on your deductive skills.
Well, irregardless, somebody, I think, tricked him into getting out of bed and standing by the window. And more than likely, it's this Lucky Eddie guy. So I didn't want to say all of that in front of Bruce, because I don't want us to go chasing after Lucky Eddie just to have it point back at Bruce, and she already knows that we're onto it. So
Fair enough.
Can you get in contact with this lucky Eddie?
I can try to.
To segue away from their bickering, question we didn't ask. When we get into the tech world, is there blood everywhere still?
Yes.
Okay. Are there bodies?
I think Nova would have pushed those to the side.
Okay, so
So-
these
so
Oh,
our
are
and
bodies.
so she wouldn't have taken them?
Where
The-
would we? Where would she have
The
deposed
police
it?
wouldn't have taken him.
Oh no,
Why
the
would-
police. Yeah, the police would have.
Yeah,
taken
yeah,
the
that's
bodies.
what I thought.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
So
was
yeah,
hoping
there
we
would be
had
no body, but
bodies.
you know what? They're not notorious for like cleaning up the crime scene
Oh,
though.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
like, yeah, that would totally be on you. There's probably blood everywhere.
And
so.
we know Nova doesn't clean.
Mhm.
Yeah, we would need to hire like real cleaners
Cockroaches
after we're done
everywhere
with
all of
this
a sudden.
job.
But Nova, do you have anything to say regarding everything going on, or is there talking about?
Yeah, I
everything?
think as soon as we get back to Tech World, I'm gonna go down to that bottom part, the garage is at, and as Rev is following me with the head and all of that stuff, I'll as he starts to put it down on this like motorcycle, I'll be like, "Don't touch that! Don't put it there. Put it over here." And I've got like a table set up, and I'll start pulling out the different devices and things and start plugging them up to my laptop, and I'm gonna start hacking away. You see this new, like I've in the last week or so, I bought this new sort of hollow generator that's hooked up to my laptop that displays a big screen so that I can do all my CAD designs and stuff. And so it's like this this cool interface that I start computing into.
Is a motorcycle in a place where Ume might notice it?
Yeah, it's like in the middle of the garage, but there's like pieces pulled off of it and stuff. It's also something I got in the last week or so.
Yeah, can I make a roll? Or I mean, Ume likes her motorcycles, so I was going to maybe make a note about it. She does not have much in the way of tech stuff, though. Frosty, is there a roll I can make to see what I know about the motorcycle, like the make and model or style or anything like that?
Motorcycle.
Expert motorcycle.
Well, I mean, there's
That's
regular
literally
motorcycle.
what it would be. It'd be
Well,
expert.
I mean,
It'd
so
be an
not
expert
not the
skill.
reflex one. So that'd be under
Intelligence. Yeah.
All right, let me type that in. I don't have
How does Ume not have expert motorcycle?
because
Shame on
it's
you.
well because it's not a normal skill.
Yeah.
And
Um,
expert motorcycle would be like knowledge of motorcycles
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
how they work.
I got a
make,
22.
model. Holy shit.
yeah, well, I rolled a 12 and I have an intelligence of 10. So yeah.
All right. So yeah, you can tell it's. I don't know personally anything about motorcycles, but Ume would be able to tell the make, the model, the year, that it's a little beaten up, that it's being repaired. It's
Nova, you got yourself like a Yamaha MX-40. Wow, I haven't seen one of those in years. I thought they discontinued them.
Yeah. I just thought I'd I wanted to try to fix it up and see if I can't.
Yeah, well, you know, if you, I'm not a technical person, but I hear that they do motor swaps on these. I wouldn't know what to swap them with, but I'm sure you do.
Well, I mean, I just kind of bought it for the parts. I was going to chop it up and see if I can't put it back together in a, you know,
Oh, like a chopper style?
yeah,
Yeah, that'd be
you know, with
sweet.
the big handlebars and the whole, you know.
Yeah.
I was gonna see
I
what
think you
could
lose
do.
mobility with that personally, but for like easy riding kind of like thing, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, I
Yeah,
was
some of the
thinking
Bokozuka
looks
gang I
badass.
hung out with back in the combat zone, you know, a couple of them had bikes like that.
I didn't know you rode.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was with a gang, you know, driving down the streets, blaring engines and shit like that. That's the whole point.
And with that, we are going to call it a night. So, thank you everyone for watching. Thank you all for playing. Great session. Hope everyone had fun Hope all of our viewers enjoyed. Thank you to our Patreons. Thank you to our producer, Nick. Thank you to all of our viewers and players. Check us out on YouTube. Watch past episodes and get caught up. And hope to see you next week. So with that, everyone, say goodnight, Victor.
Good night.
Good night, Victor.
I get to say goodnight
Forever.
for a couple of days.
Yes.